Look at Trevor whipping that thing around. I would laugh so hard if he tilted that thing over. Good evening and welcome to Alumni Field in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It's the NECBL back at it again. I'm Sean Massa, the voice of the Keene SwampBats, joined today by the voice of the Sanford Mainers, Justin Chevalella. Justin, so far it's a battle of the North Division going on here, and it's been a tale of two seasons so far for both these squads.
I mean, again, early on in the season, Sanford just 3 games in. They beat Vermont in their first game, another North Division opponent, dropped their next 2 against Valley and Mystic. Just some troubles with runners in scoring position over those last 2 games. Just 27 left on base, 17 of those in scoring position. The Mainers need to get that going here tonight, and there's no better spot after a day off, unexpected day off yesterday. Mainers going to come back here and look to get their offense kicking again against the SwampBats.
Yeah, and they won the season series last year 4-3, and Keene's kind of been at the bottom of the barrel of the North Division the last couple of years, something that was a point of emphasis in the offseason, in building this team and getting ready with Sean McKenna and everyone involved, and it's been successful pretty far. 2-0 to start the year, the second time since 2017 that that's happened. That right there can tell you the little bit of a rough patch that Keene's been in the last 5 or so years. Coming off a big win yesterday that was fueled by a 7-walk, 10-batter top half of the 5th inning where Keene didn't even have to swing the bat to get 3 runs across early on, then got 2 more going on. So we'll take a quick break, bring it back with the SwampBats and the Mainers right here on ESPN+.
At this time, I draw your attention to the area behind home plate for the singing of the national anthem. Tonight being performed by Josh is Andrew Connell, Senior Vice President of Center Store Procurement and CS Wholesale Grocery. Andrew is responsible for service, inventory management, demand planning, and spending planning for Center Store and general merchandise of health and beauty care. Since joining CNS in 2006, Andrew has held multiple leadership positions in health organizations in procurement, demand planning, facilities, automation, and network optimization. Andrew is
And we're back here at Alumni Field in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire for a North Division showdown with the SwampBats and the Mainers coming over from Sanford, Maine. I'm Sean Massey, the voice of the SwampBats, joined by the voice of the Mainers, Justin Chevalella. And Justin, these are two teams, two franchises, two organizations that they know each other well, obviously.
Yes, they see each other 7-8 times a season. This being the first of 8 meetings. They'll play each other again on Wednesday right here in Keene. So kick off a long season series between each other, and I bet you by the end of it, they'll be sick of seeing each other. We might even be sick of seeing each other by that point too, 8 games in. But it's going to be a long season, and every game matters the same in a 44-game season, and especially against the North Division. That remains true. They matter just a little bit more.
And on the mound today, making his first start for the SwampBats, number 37, the big left-handed pitcher, Nick Perriman from Cal State Bakersfield, who hasn't really seen action as of late. Obviously, Cal State Bakersfield not great in the NCAA this year, so Nick Perriman's last outing was on May 11th, where he only lasted a third of an inning. The last outing to pitch more than one out was all the way back in April, at April 19th for UC San Diego. He actually had a really solid year as well, having a 3.5 ERA all the way to the bottom part of the season, where last two didn't go his way, but getting his first start today in Keene in front of a pretty nice crowd settling in on this absolutely beautiful Saturday afternoon in the New England area. And early on, we're going to have to see how does Nick Perriman attack, because Sanford, as of late, Justin, take out the first game, learning curve. They've hit the ball pretty well the last 2 games.
They've been able to get some hits. They've been able to get runners on. A lot of walks thrown in there, too. In fact, they're on pace to beat their single-season walks record by quite some time, but quite the amount. But at the same time, they're also on pace at the moment. Again, just 3 games into the season. They're also on pace to break their single-season strikeout record. So if you're Sanford, you want to find some hits. And, well, Sanford had some fun here in Keene last year. Plenty of balls leave this ballpark, and Mainers had plenty of home runs here last season.
I liked, dubbed Alumni Field as the Yankee Stadium of the NECBL with its small outlines, 354 on the right field line, but obviously that slanted right center field under the scoreboard and the short center field wall leaves for a launch pad in the NECBL. But Nick Perriman steps off, takes a sigh of relief, steps back on in his first foe. We number 2, the shortstop, Matt Maselli. Perriman's first pitch in nearly a month of time. He delivers the fastball down low, called for a strike, and a pretty one at that, sitting at 87 with over 2,400 spin rate, brought to you by TrackMan. Talked to Nick before the game a little bit. He said, really wanted to attack hitters, get comfortable early on, tried to go upstairs. That one just missed, evens the count up at 1-1.
Matt Maselli, a very patient hitter up there. It's his birthday, actually. Going to throw that out there. Last year played in Keene on opening day. On his birthday, went 1 for 4, a run scored, and a run batted in.
Beautiful breaking ball right there. Gets a 2-strike count. Go through the defense for Keene. We have a little bit of time. Reese behind the plate, the infield from left to right. Molinaro, Romano, Alicea, and Calarco. In the outfield stands at House, Jakonski, and Koonin. Down low, breaking ball, almost fooled him. Got him on one knee, just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Nice job by Maselli. Stayed back just enough on that swing to get just a piece of it, get it foul, get another pitch here, see what he can do with it.
Perriman trying to get a big first out. He really talked about that being a point of emphasis, especially with pitching coach John Nowak, about we cannot let Sanford get comfortable in the batter's box as the 1-2's fouled off and we stay at that count.
Sanford has made pitchers work a lot, and you can see that already 5 pitches in this first at-bat to Matt Maselli. They have been able to get to the bullpens of all 3 opponents very quickly. They work deep at-bats, and, right out of the gate, Maselli working one here against Perriman.
Perriman settles in with the third 1-2 pitch. That one down low. It's left off in the dirt. Evens the count up at 2-2, and couldn't have said any better. Working the count early on. For Keene, that's been something that they have struggled with on the offensive side. Pitching-wise, they've been pretty good so far. Breaking ball just missed outside in the left-hand box. We got our first full count of the day and a quality at-bat already for Maselli. Gotta avoid letting Sanford get a man on early. Trying to fight back after dropping the 1-2. Here's the payoff pitch. It's chopped over to the left side. Charging in Romano, a weird hop on the short hop, but the throw's on the money to Clarko at first. There's one away. Beautiful piece of defense from Nick Romano, and that's someone that Keene needs to get going.
Yeah, nice little play to get a fast Matt Maselli at first base in time. And, I mean, though, he saw enough pitches in that at-bat, and you can see him talking to Devin Bade right there as he comes to the plate, giving him a little scouting report on what Perriman has to offer. Mainers have to be happy with that first at-bat despite the result.
Now Devin Bade, the designated hitter, looks to lay down a bunt on the fastball. Watched it blow by for strike number 1. Perriman looking for a big out after his defense helped him out in the payoff pitch that got away. That one fouled off and quickly up 0-2. Last time he was in a 2-strike count, though, we just saw Maselli fought it off and got all the way to the 8th pitch.
It's the Mainers' specialty. Bade's one of the best at doing it. Did so the last year, the year before that, here in his 3rd season, playing with Sanford here in the NECBL.
Has a career NECBL on base percentage of .338. Breaking ball outside, just missed on the outside half. Left off for ball number 1. Would really love to see Perriman. Obviously has a couple pitches to play with. Try to go something on the back foot of Bade and get him off balance on the swing as he delivers the 1-2. It's a breaking ball chopped over to third. Molinaro, a crow hop over to his left and makes the throw a little bit high, but that's why you have Alex Clarko at first base. It's a big 2-up, 2-down. It brings up the middle part of the order. That will start off with Jack Toomey slotting in right field in the 3-hole for Sanford today.
Toomey homered in the Mainers' last game against Mystic. Got his bat going 3 for 4. That's all 3 of his hits this summer. Had been on base a couple of times before that on walks. And Mainers get Jack Toomey's bat going like they did at the end of last year. It usually spells success for them.
89-mile-an-hour fastball, and the spin rate of Perriman's fastball looking really good today. He's sitting around 23 to 2400. Absolutely commanding the zone with the heater. There's another one. It's sharply up the middle. Moving over Romano. Bobbles it. Gets it off the hop, and the throw's on the money. A little bit of anxious right there, but a 1-2-3 with 3 ground balls to the left side of the infield for Nick Perriman in his 2024 summer debut. We go to the bottom half of the 1st inning. The Bats offense trying to wake up. It's Jakonski, Reese, and House when we return. And we're back after a 1-2-3 inning from the arm of Nick Perriman that induced 3 weak ground balls to the top of the Sanford lineup. And now we move over to the offense for the Bats and the arm on the mound for the Mainers. Andrew Castelluccio getting his first appearance of the summer, and hopefully it's better than what school was for the righty.
In Castelluccio, he struggled a little bit in his final year with St. John's, posting a .990 ERA in 10 innings, allowed 11 earned runs. Did have 7 strikeouts in there, and that's coming off of a 2023 where in 7 appearances and 3 starts, he went 2-0 with a in 13 and a third innings pitched, allowed 12 hits, 3 runs, just 2 of them earned, 13 strikeouts to 4 walks. He pitched last year with Danbury here in the NECBL as well, and he had a pretty good summer, all things considered. He's looking to refine that success here this summer in his first appearance coming in Keene. And I mean, you got to get ground balls if you want to have success here in Keene. We just saw 3 straight in the top of the first. See what Castelluccio can get going in the bottom of the first.
He winds and delivers the first pitch to the leadoff hitter, and a big hack early on from Joe Jakonski, the center fielder, slotting in the top of the order, and he's had a pretty good start, to say the least. I mean, obviously, young season, 2 games in, 1 for 2 at the plate, but has a lot of walks as he watches that one go and even the count. It's a big part of this Keene lineup is, with a big emphasis, we need to get guys that will match up well, and a lot of switch hitters, a lot of lefties to match up. The lineup options are limitless as we start out with the lefty, Jakonski. Ahead 2-1 in the count after 2 straight miss upstairs. This one blown by for strike 2.
Jakonski had a really good year with Penn State this past season, helping them go all the way to the Big Ten Tournament Championship game in an unexpected run for the Nittany Lions. Found his way on base constantly, a .412 on base percentage. That's unheard of.
Especially in the Big Ten. I mean, that's pretty good baseball, to say the least. And Jakonski has continued his success here in Keene. Payoff pitch inside, almost got a piece. But 33, the center fielder, will take his lead-off walk, and that's something that Keene is very prone to doing, especially after yesterday's game in Valley, where they drew 7 in the 5th inning alone.
Yeah, Jakonski, 43 walks this past season in his first with the Nittany Lions, and just has continued that so far. That's his 4th walk of the summer already here in Keene.
To think we're only in game number 3 as well. I mean, the on-base percentage at .833, and it just keeps rising. Brings up another lefty, and Ripken Reese getting his first start at catcher. That one gets behind the catcher for Sanford, Colbin, and it'll be a free bag on the wild pitch.
Mainers have had plenty of those, whether they're pass balls or wild pitches. Think about that Valley game a couple of nights ago. They were all over the place. Can't be giving up free bases like that.
Now in scoring position for Reese. He watches that one go in the zone for a 1-1. Go through the defense of the Mainers. Colvin behind the dish at third. Hernandez, Maselli at short. Schaff at second. And Curtis Mann's first to complete the infield. As Castelluccio comes set, checks the runner at second, and now delivers to Reese. Check swing up at the letters. They'll say he left off for a 2-1. Will complete the defense for the Mainers in the outfield. Willis in left. Barksdale in center, and Toomey stands at right field. Do not want to get 2 on to start, and gets fooled on that one as Reese for a 2-2 count.
Nice pitch there from Castelluccio. You can see him working out on the mound. He's able to get the hitter and Ripken Reese a little bit out in front.
Reese part of that catcher carousel early on with J.D. Jones, Alex Calarco, who slotted there a few times, and now the Kent State product gets his first start there as he goes down swinging on a beautiful breaking ball in the bottom part of the zone.
Really good bounce back plate appearance here from Castelluccio, getting Reese to go down on strikes after a leadoff walk. And now if you're Castelluccio, you just want to keep that momentum going, get this next out, and then bring it up. Try to strand that runner right where he is at second base.
And it brings up a guy who's had a pretty nice start to his summer. Did not play this year at Mississippi State, but Brett House, the big left fielder, fooled on that one, sitting fastball, got a changeup, and was way in front of it for an 0-1. House was very highly touted out of high school, rated a 9 out of 10 prospect by Perfect Game, was the number 10 outfielder in the state of Georgia, and ranked in the top 100 nationally. As he tries to go after that one, I believe it got a piece of the knob and goes to an 0-2. And that's something Keene's really going to have to adjust to, as yesterday at Valley seeing mid-90s from Darren Kuski to start the game, and that's not what you're going to get with Castelluccio. He's not really going to go faster than 89 miles an hour, but the slider's got a lot of vertical movement. And the changeup is nasty. That one's upstairs on an 86-mile-an-hour fastball. And back-to-back strikeouts, both of them with a runner in scoring position.
What a bounce back, the last 2 batters from Andrew Castelluccio. Talked about it, had a rough year this past year, but what a better way to get your summer started than having these quick bounce backs. Still's got to go through Calarco here to get out of the inning, but Castelluccio looks like he found something there on the mound. 2 straight strikeouts.
Calarco has hit the ball extremely well this summer early on and gets a piece of that one, but not enough. It's in shallow center field. 3 Mainers settling under, and it will be Barksdale, a center fielder, who eventually calls off Maselli. So a leadoff walk and a wild pitch with a man on second with no outs. And then after that, 2, 3, 4, go 1, 2, 3, and we remain scoreless. We go to the second inning here on ESPN+.
Netting professional is the official netting partner of the New England League. The netting is a large handle product that features a maintenance baseball venue, such as City Field and Trust Park. The netting treatment facilities for local athletes is under with Florida, North Carolina, Binghamton, Texas, and many more. From design to fabrication to installation, netting pros is improving programs, one facility at a time. Zephyr is the official on-field cap of the NECBL. Also known as the Z-Hat, Zephyr is the athletic cap with a rolled collar and carries the same energy and creativity as the hat, belt hat, that plays shortstop. Cleveland brand.
Welcome back here to NECBL action on ESPN Plus. Myself, Sean Massa, joined by Justin Chevalella. And Justin, that first inning was really pitching heavy.
Yeah, I mean, both pitchers have the upper hand. It usually happens here in the NECBL. You know, the first couple of games, while the batters are getting used to going back to wood bats as they all use the metal bats at school, pitching usually does have the upper hand. We've seen some big offensive numbers, though, in the NECBL in the early goings this year. And, well, the pitchers was 1, 2, 3, all ground outs from Nick Perriman in the top of the first. And then how about Andrew Castelluccio bouncing back from a leadoff walk, let the runner get to second on what was ruled a pass ball, and then back-to-back strikeouts and a harmless pop-up to center field.
Now Perriman, first pitch is swung and hit hard. It tails in the gap in right center field. Coonan's got to cut it off, takes a weird hop off the wall before we can even say his name. C.J. Willis, the cleanup hitter. He's on second base just like that.
There's a reason C.J. Willis is in that cleanup spot tonight. Look, he's 0 for 7 coming into that at-bat to start his summer, but he was having good at-bats constantly. He was making good contact, and right there you can see it all come on that double, hit off the bat at 91 and right into that right center field gap.
Now it brings up the 5-hole hitters, so now 5, 6, 7 due up. After the cleanup spot, Willis goes to right center field and gets himself on second for the first hit of the game for the Mainers. Now it'll be Nathan Barksdale. See if maybe a little bit of small ball. We do see a bunt, but not successful as that one goes by for strike number 1.
There's been a change here this year with Sanford. I was here last year with them, and I don't remember as much small ball as they've put into play this year. More stolen bases already off the bat this year, and a lot more bunt attempts.
Keene also taking that analytical approach to the season this year, as that fastball, they'll say, missed the zone on the outside, and it goes to 1-1.
It's actually going through it on the bus on the way here. It took till game number, I believe it was 9 or 8 for Sanford to have their first stolen base last season. Already have surpassed that total by a decent amount.
Breaking ball outside again, had Reese sliding in the left-hand box, goes 2-1, and a big point of emphasis for Sanford is with runners in scoring position, and it has not been successful so far, but as we talked about, young season still.
42 plate appearances with the runners in scoring position, batting just 181. 8 runs batted in, but most importantly, 15 strikeouts in those 33 at-bats that they've recorded.
This one won't be a strikeout, chopped over to the left side. It's fielded by Romano. He puts a cannon to first. Runner advances to third. They get an out, but now 90 feet away is the first run of the ball game.
Yeah, and look, that goes down as 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position, but it's a productive 0 for 1. It's the same as if you were basically to lay down a bunt, which wouldn't go down as an at-bat. So if you're the Mainers, you'll take that at-bat there from Nathan Barksdale. You get C.J. Willis to third, and now a pass ball, a wild pitch. You've got your first run on the board.
And it brings up the left-handed bat of Blake Schaff, playing second base and slotting in the 6th spot in the Sanford lineup. Over at third base, Molinaro playing in. This one's chopped over to second. He'll score a run for sure. Alisea, slow roller, gets the out, but credit the RBI to Blake Schaff at the 1-0 lead.
Well, happy belated birthday, Blake Schaff. The game on your birthday got postponed a little late yesterday, and Blake Schaff in the lineup there, productive out yet again for Sanford. You get that first run aboard. You give some cushion to Andrew Castelluccio out there on the mound, who looked good in the first.
Brings up the catcher, Ryan Colbin, to the plate. Outside for ball number 1 to start. And if you're Perriman, obviously with how that went with the first pitch double, I don't think you're going to complain about just 2 ground balls. The run did score, but now the bases are empty, and you're just 1 out away from getting out of the inning. Nice breaking ball left off. Beautiful discipline from Colbin on that one. We're seeing early on from Perriman, he loves the bottom part of the zone, especially with his curveball. Just went to it and just missed, but now I have to expect we're going to see a fastball that's just in the zone. You cannot let a 3-0. It is not that in the zone or a fastball. Reads at 82 and does not make it the full way for a 3-0 count. At school this year, Perriman was pretty solid, as we talked about. Ends the year with just north of a 5 ERA in his innings of work as he delivers strike 1 right there to try to fight back after losing it. Had nearly 23 innings of work this year, but struggled with runners on base. Now he's got no one, but threatening with another good fight back as the count goes full. Young summer, obviously, but Colbin does have the highest average entering today's game on the Mainers at 500. Just 1 for 2 with 3 walks. Kind of the story of the SwampBats. Low plate appearances, low at-bats, and a lot of walks. And speaking of walks, there's another freebie. The first of the game for Perriman, the first of the game for the Sanford offense. And with 2 away, they got another runner.
Yeah, that's what you like to see from the 7-hole hitter in Ryan Colbin. You were just talking about him. Had a really nice game at the plate against Valley the other night. Had a pair of hits, had a double, had some walks in there, and now Ryan Colbin on first base. You keep the inning going for a big bat in Jackson Curtis, and again, you know, if you lift a ball here at Keene, it's a good chance could go deep.
And Jackson Curtis standing at 6'4", 245. Had a really good year in school, 369, get on base at a 462 clip. Had 10 bombs, 9 doubles with over 1,100 OPS. He's got that big leg kick as that one bounces to the plate, and just able to get the glove on it is Reese to keep it down the line and keep the runner at first. Now if you're Perriman, you cannot let this at-bat get away from you. The double obviously is a killer, and the run coming across mentally doesn't feel great, but you had an opportunity. Is he going to take a look over at first base to Colbin? Now Perriman comes set. It's a little small lead over at first from Colbin. Delivers another bouncer, and it's just been not consistent since that double. 2 ground balls, yes, but not a lot of pitches in the zone.
Good at bat here from Curtis to follow up Colbin's. Curtis had a really good year at Husson. 10 home runs, 36 runs batted in, named first team all-conference.
And he takes a rip at that one up the middle. Alisea moving over the underhand flip on cue to Romano to get the force. One comes across with a leadoff double. Nick Perriman fights through the inning, allows 1, the first of the game for Sanford. 1-0. The visiting Mainers on top as we go to the bottom of the second.
In the Eisenberg School of Management, we really value experiential learning. By the end of their time here, the students have a portfolio that they can go out with and say, here's what I've done. Here's the clients that I've already worked for.
Our alumni are in constant engagement with our program, providing career guidance, insights. So all of our students are able to take advantage of an unparalleled alumni network before and after they graduate.
Your involvement with the school doesn't end when you graduate. We have a lot of UMass Amherst alums at Gillette Stadium. We know the type of employee we're going to get when we hire someone who's graduated from this program.
We're back after a short break to go to the bottom half of the second inning. The Mainers break it open with 1 run. Credit the RBI to Blake Sheff and credit the run scored to C.J. Willis, who started it with the first hit of the game for either team. A monster double to right center field. And now Keene just looking for an answer. It's 5-6-7 with Bryce Molinaro, Nick Romano, and Victor Izquierdo, the DH, up to the plate. Start with a man that you know well, Justin, a Penn State bat, as that one's foul off the inside of the bat to number 27, the third baseman today for Keene, Bryce Molinaro.
Yeah, Molinaro, he probably provided the biggest moment in recent Penn State baseball history as they made a surprising miracle run as he fouls another one off in the Big Ten tournament. Had a go-ahead grand slam in the, I believe it was the top of the 8th inning against Michigan, and that moment, it just kind of summed up what the season had been under Mike Gambino in the first year and what the future of Penn State baseball might become.
Had a really good year for the Nittany Lions. Ended the season, you talk about that monster grand slam, he ended the season on an 18-game hit streak.
He was getting it all done. He really improved his really game all around after not playing in 2023 with St. John's. Had a really good 2024, 329, 409 base percentage, on base percentage, 560 slugging, 11 home runs, 45 runs batted in, and a big vital part of Penn State's success.
And you say it might be the biggest moment of recent Penn State baseball memory. It's up there for all time as well. He's fought back in this one 2-2. Still looking for his first hit of the summer in a Keene SwampBats jersey. He fights off that one and gets a piece to stay alive. Obviously 0 for 4 in the season in 2 games. Does have a couple walks. Make it 3 for a 429 on base percentage. Looking to get that average and on base percentage up as he watches that one just miss the zone on the outside. And it makes the count full. Big pitch right here, trying to avoid another lead-off walk, and they will not. That one's in the other batter's box for the second straight inning. Keene's got a lead-off base on balls. Can they actually capitalize this time?
Yeah, now this is up for Castelluccio to do what he did last inning. Come back. Biggest thing is don't let a ball get past the catcher in Colbin. Don't let Bryce Molinaro, who had 7 stolen bases at school, don't let him go take off for second.
Brings up Nick Romano, takes ball 1, who's having a tough summer adjusting. Did not play this year due to a weird transfer rule in the NCAA, but a 2-year starter in his college career before making the move. And really just trying to get going, looking for his first hit, obviously. He's up 2-0 in this count. He was a 2-year starter at Georgia Tech, hit .292 on his last season. He pops this one up in foul territory on the first base line. Heading over is Curtis. He's called off by the second baseman, making the catch is Schaff. Good call off there as Curtis running against the trail of the ball. Would have been a pretty tough play to make over the shoulder, but there's one away.
Yeah, really nice communication, I think most importantly between Curtis and Schaff, to have Schaff call off Curtis and have him just step aside, as you know, going that way is a tough play for either of them to make. And nice play by Schaff, who drove in the run and has the back to Penn State, has the Mainers up 1-0.
Got to go back to your root to the Izquierdo. Goes to short. It's fumbled by Macelio. Go down as an E6. And the U.S. Naval Academy first baseman slotting as DH today gets on base. Molinaro safe at second.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough play regardless. Just so softly hit off the bat of Izquierdo, and now he's on first. 2 runners on, and now Castelluccio has a big test here.
Brings up Keene, who does not have a hit this summer through 3 ABs. Looking for his first as well, and would be a big one here. He led off game 1, did not start in game 2. Was gonna get in the game in a defensive substitution, but obviously the rainout prolonged that game and ended it eventually. Can't expect any small ball here with 1 away. If there was no outs, 100% would think Keene is bunting this one on the third base line. He chops it past the glove of the mound. It goes to second. They tag the runner, go to first. They'll say he missed the tag, so we'll just get the 4-3. They'll say they just missed Izquierdo. Sanford arguing Izquierdo is out of the baseline to dodge the tag. And I'm not quite sure what the decision's going to be here, as there's going to be a conversation with our third base umpire, Alan Liberdoni.
I mean, whether it be the tag or possibly out of the baseline, I feel like either way, Blake Schaff has a good case, and Nick Lops having a nice, friendly conversation here.
I'd have to see that one again, and just a weird bounce just over the glove of Castelluccio. Honestly thought the right-handed pitcher was going to snag it.
They're going to get together and see if either of the other 2 umpires saw anything different.
Lops was signaling right there. He made the out signal with his right hand. I think he's pretty confident this one's going to end the inning. They call him safe, so it will be second and third and maybe a bullet dodge and an extra life for the SwampBats, as Keene officially grounds on a 4-3. Moves Molinaro over to third and Izquierdo to second. And now Alicea up to the plate.
Tough break for Sanford, but now it's up. Castelluccio just has to go back to do what he was doing, which is throwing strikes.
It's been really good out of the stretch, especially in this one early. He delivers strike 1 to Alex Alicea, going to his sophomore season at Louisville as a freshman. Was sensational in 36 starts. He slashed a 291, 397, 433 with 11 doubles. And he nails that one to right center field. It's high, it's back to me at the wall. He'll settle at the track and make the catch. So an extra life, but Alicea gets a warning track shot to right center field to end it. 5 batters, 2 get on, no hits credited to Keene. They trail 1-0 after 2 here on ESPN+. A packed crowd settling in here at Alumni Field in Keene, New Hampshire, for some NECBL action, the second home game of the year for the SwampBats. They trail 1-0 after 2 innings here on ESPN Plus to the Mainers from Sanford. And really, honestly, right there, Justin, in that bottom half of the second inning, I think we all kind of thought Keene got that extra life, and I think everyone kind of thought the baseball gods were going to reward them.
Yeah, well, baseball giveth and baseball taketh away, and you think of Sanford lately with their struggles stranding runners on base. They're on the opposite end. They get Castelluccio, the Sanford starter, to strand 2 in scoring position for Keene. So maybe things evening out a little bit for Sanford as they play game number 4. Tied for the league lead in games played at the moment. How many postponements there's been around the league.
Brings up the 9-hole spot with the top of the order, set the roller for the second time with Mateo Hernandez, the third baseman. As it's 9-1-2 with Hernandez, Maselli, and Bade set up in this one. Perriman has struggled once people get on in this one, but has looked really good to start and fools them right there. Hernandez was way in front of that 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Up 0-2 quickly on the 9-hole spot, who is a really good glove at third, and if that bat can get going for Sanford, could be a valuable piece to the Mainers, especially down the stretch. And he takes that one upstairs for ball number 1. In a fairly quiet game, 2 base runners for the Mainers, and technically 3 with the error. 2 walks and an error on the offensive night for Keene. This one's off the edge of the lumber over to second. Aliseo waits for it to come up, almost missed it with his glove, but got the throw off to first in time. Looked like for a minute that ball's going to squeeze right under, and almost like he picked up his body too soon, but luckily able to snag it with the webbing. We go to the top of the order for the second time.
Seen a couple of tough hops here in the infield so far today. That was another one, but Aliseo, like you said, Sean, able to make that nice play and get the first out. Another ground out.
Brings up Maselli again, grounded out to shortstop to start this game. Gets up 1-0 as that 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball just misses the zone. Comes back with a fastball. It's hammered up the middle. No chance directly between Aliseo and Romano. And it's going to be a 1-out single in the second hit of the game for the Mainers. The last hit they had was the 1 run they have.
Great piece of hitting by Matt Maselli, just taking that one right up the middle off of Perriman on the mound. 91 off the bat. Sanford's 2 hits today, both have left at 91.
And it brings up Devin Bade, the DH, who also ground out to the left side of the infield at third base to Bryce Molinaro. Now a nice spot as Sanford trying to get going and get more runs on their lead, and that's where Perriman has struggled, has been in the stretch. As Bade attacks the first pitch, left field. That one all the way back. It goes into the trees. A 2-run shot on the first pitch of the AB. And Sanford goes from 1-0 to 3-0 off the bat of Devin Bade.
Absolutely got all of that pitch, did Devin Bade. Deposits into left center field, and Sanford now tripling their lead. It's 3-0.
His 4th home run in a Sanford uniform with 3 last summer. That was missiled.
94 off the bat from Bade.
Goes 377 feet and 9 inches off the bat, hammered to left field, and just like that, the struggles in the stretch continue, and maybe a little rattled as that one bounces to the plate to Jack Toomey.
I'm not going to say I called that pregame, but if you remember my mic check properly, I did say Devin Bade 2-run home run in my mic check.
You did indeed, and you might be a prophet. That one a hard swing off the inside of the bat, almost hit the hands. It settles in right center, and Jakonski grabs it for the second out. And I did say to you, now if Bade hits a home run, you might be able to tell the future. I think you got to start saying that a little bit more, because that ball is hammered.
Maybe play the lottery, the Powerball.
Go buy a lottery ticket. Something's going on, but it's the cleanup spot. C.J. Willis, who started out the scoring for Sanford with a double to right center field and eventually came around to score last inning. And now if you're Perriman, you just got to forget it. You have to forget what just happened. You have to forget what Willis did last at bat. It's hard to do it when there's a line to center field and make it 2 home runs in the inning. Absolutely missiled off the bat. The second bomb of the inning for Sanford, and make it a 3 spot here in the top of the third for a 4-0 Mainer lead.
Didn't have the distance that Bade did, but 103 off the bat of C.J. Willis. Just got a hold of that one, and he knew it off the bat. Sanford has known both of their home runs right away, and now they lead 4-0 here over Keene. This is what this offense was missing the last couple of games.
And here's the launch pad known as Alumni Field. 377 for Bade and 366 for Willis. Both probably pop-outs at a lot of collegiate ballparks, but not here at Alumni Field, and I guess that can be the pros of playing here as an opposing team.
Absolutely. That's Sanford at home the other day. Jack Toomey did go to the short porch in right field, but play in one of the larger parks in the league. And now here tonight, get the the small field at Alumni Field, and so far so good for the Mainers.
Perriman on a 1 to the 5 spot. Nathan Barksdale, as that one bounces behind the dish, and Reese keeps it in front of him. It's a 2-1 count now, as that just missed way in the dirt. And it's almost been like since a man got on base and this inning started really with that single from Maselli, Perriman has just looked shook on the mound. Now delivers a 1-2, breaking ball way in front of it with the hands. It's flown to right center field. Jakonski calls off everyone and makes the grab. 2 bombs, 3 runs on the board, make it from a 1-0 lead as we enter to a 4-0 lead as we go to the bottom. Keene got to get back in this one soon.
What I'm looking for in a bank is one that's looking out for me, like NBT. I want a relationship and a team that supports me and my dreams, like NBT. And let's face it, life can get challenging. I need a bank that's focused on me. They've been rated tops in all the things that matter, like trust, customer service, and financial advice. So when I need a bank I can trust, it's always NBT and me.
Rondé Barber here. Being in the NFL for 16 years, I've dealt with my fair share of bumps and bruises. But typical ice packs never stayed cold long enough, were messy and inconvenient. HurtSkirt offers the same long-lasting treatment as ice does, but without the hassle. HurtSkirt uses no antifreeze chemicals, ensuring that panels freeze solid and stay colder for longer. Drop the ice, skirt the hurt. Use code BARBER20 for 20% off and free shipping at HurtSkirt.com.
And we're back for the SwampBats offense that has been stifled through 2 innings. And for Sanford, they were also semi-stifled through 2 innings. But that top of the 3rd inning, Justin, oh my goodness, did they explode.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to go really back to the bottom of the 2nd to get to the top of the 3rd. If Castelluccio doesn't get out of that jam, you don't know what happens when Perriman starts pitching with a lead. So good job by Castelluccio. Now you then in the top of the 3rd, bring it to your bats, middle of the order coming up. And well, the middle of the order, top middle of the order did exactly what they need to be doing, and that's getting runs across. And now Sanford with 4 runs.
And it's Joe Jakonski, who had 2 putouts in that inning in center field to lead off, going over for the 2nd time with the order. And you put your best hitters at the top of the lineup for a reason. Sanford in that inning with 1, 2, 3, and 4 had a single and 2 home runs. It almost worked to perfection as that one just misses down low for a 2-0 count to Jakonski. It's been 2 back-to-back leadoff walks and en route possibly to number 3. 2-0 pitch from Castelluccio, swung on and hammered to right field. It's tailing to the corner. Kiss it goodbye over the barn. Jakonski, his 2nd bomb in back-to-back days, his 1st at home, and Keene might have life here at Alumni Field.
381 off the bat. He got all of it over the barn out there in right field, and that's what Keene needs to do. You don't need to get all 4 runs here in the bottom of the 3rd, but you at least need to begin the chipping away process. And what an at-bat, what a home run by Joe Jakonski.
And that's the farthest one we've seen, as Sanford's home runs went 377 and 366 respectively. That one goes 381 and then some. And just like that, the leadoff batter goes yard, and Keene has their first hit of the night and maybe some life from an offense that looked like they had nothing. Ripken Reese now up to the plate in a 1-1 as he watches that one find the zone, and this is what the SwampBat offense has been. It's been a lot of streakiness. It's been a lot of inconsistency where once one guy gets going, everyone gets going. Can Jakonski fuel the bats again as Reese blows by that breaking ball for a 1-2?
Yeah, now on the flip side, it's how do you respond if you're Castelluccio. So far, he's responded to every challenge brought his way. And he's in a 1-2 count, so ahead here.
Reese waits on it, puts a high fly ball to center field. No one even takes a chance at it. It clears the trees, and back-to-back moonshots, for a lack of better words, from Jakonski, and now Ripken Reese joins the club. It's 4-2.
Another one that, right off the bat, you know it's leaving, and 374 feet, 92 miles per hour, and all of a sudden the 4-0 lead cut in half. And maybe a little preview of the NECBL Home Run Derby here in Keene tonight. 4 home runs all this inning.
4 home runs in technically 1 inning, as there's still no outs here in the bottom half of the third as strike 1's delivered to Brett House. Struck out swinging, one of the 2 strikeouts today to Castelluccio, and this one is hammered down the left field line. No shot, it's foul, just tailed. Almost was 3 in a row.
Just pulled it a little too much, couldn't keep it fair, just kept breaking down towards that foul line. And now if you're Castelluccio, you take a deep breath, a sigh of relief that that one didn't leave the yard, and now 0-2 count, your strike away from getting your first out here in this inning.
Yeah, it might be a bullet dodge. Let's see if House can straighten it out. 0-2 breaking ball, tried to get it off balance on the left side of the plate. It's left off for a 1-2. 1-2 pitch now from Castelluccio. He kicks and just under it. That one popped up in foul territory. Veering over, this one's going to stay in, and a basket grab by the first baseman Curtis just along the fence line of the Keene dugout. And a home run that tails just foul, ends up being a pop out in foul territory for Brett House.
Yeah, good bounce back there. The next 2 pitches from Castelluccio after that one nearly went yard, and nice play by Curtis battling the fence to, like you said, basket catch that one and get the first out. Huge first out here. Now if you're Castelluccio, try to set into the rhythm that you had found.
Brings up Alex Calarco, who gives this one a ride to left center field. Veering back is Barksdale into the gap, and he'll make the grab on the run for back-to-back outs on back-to-back pitches.
Lots of balls being lifted here, but the last 2 not enough to get out. And now bounce backs in the last 2 at-bats from the righty on the mound for Sanford.
And a much-needed bounce back, especially as that 4-0 lead. He came in the inning with back-to-back bombs off Jakonski and Reese, made it 4-2. But as we talked about, you got to have that short memory and forget about it. And back-to-back outs have been pretty nice as another Penn State bat in Bryce Molinaro. Had a leadoff walk back in the second inning. Now coming up with 2 away here in the third. He's up 2-0 in this count. The 5th batter of the inning. It ties the longest offensive inning for Keene. Trying to extend it to the 6th, who is set to be Nick Romano standing on deck. And it's a 3-0 count to Molinaro. Castelluccio got to fight back here. 3-0. He delivers. Molinaro puts it sharply over to right field, and it drops well in front of Toomey. And just like that, a 2-out single. And Keene stays alive in the third.
Another nice piece of hitting there from Bryce Molinaro, taking that one to right field on a line. It left the bat at 88 miles per hour, and now another runner on for Castelluccio to deal with.
Brings up Nick Romano, the shortstop, who popped up to second base his last time up and still looking for his first hit of the summer. He has not had a lot of luck after that absence as he fouls the first pitch off, and the breaking ball was well in front of it. Just that adjustment period, it seems, for Romano, who is a really good talent, but obviously not playing this year due to the transfer rule. It's a tough break for a bat to try to get going now as he's down 0-2 as he watches that one find the zone on the fastball. Trying to extend the inning after that fastball easily, almost middle, left off by Romano. Now an 0-2 count with 2 away. They will check the runner at first as a little antsy was Molinaro. He goes back safely standing up. Would not be shocked if hitting coach Casey O'Brien over that first base sends Molinaro. They do not. That one down low, pulled back up by Colbin behind the dish. Do not get the benefit. That one well below the zone. We've seen Keene, especially yesterday at Valley, they were very aggressive on the base paths. Have to see, do they go back to that well, especially here at the 2-strike count. Maybe want to get Bryce Molinaro in scoring position for Romano. 1-2, Romano watches that one on the back foot go for ball number 2, and now the twos are wild at Alumni Field.
Nice block behind the plate by Ryan Colbin. You were just talking about maybe Keene puts Molinaro in motion with 2 outs, but there, ball in the dirt. Colbin does a nice job to keep that one from getting past him and keeping Molinaro planted at first.
Molinaro takes a hop off and is very antsy at first. 2-2 to Romano, swung through, and at the strikeout, then the inning. 2 home runs, both solo shot, cut the lead in half. It's 4-2 after 3 here at Alumni Field with the North Division matchup with the SwampBats and the Mainers.
Whether you're an island resident or planning a summer getaway, the fastest way to get to the Cape Island is by taking the New England League's preferred partner, the Steamship Authority Ferry. Visit steamshipauthority.com for more information. Did you know that the 30 meals lunch for senior citizens is now open Monday through Friday? The dining room is located in the Senior Center at Pink Oil Harbor Street, in Keene. You don't need to be a Senior Center member to come to lunch. The lunches are available for donation. So, home health care, hospice, and community services at 603-352-2253 for reservation.
Well, when Nick Perriman left the mound, it was a 4-run deficit for his Keene SwampBats. He comes back to the mound in the top of the 4th, and now the deficit sits at 2 for Keene. But if you're Sanford, trying to keep things going against Perriman, and it's going to be 7, 8, and 9. Schaff, Colbin, and Curtis due up for the visiting team.
And if you're Perriman right now, that feels good. You go back to the dugout and you're down 4-0. You just gave up 2 bombs and 3 runs in the top half of the 3rd. Your offense comes back out and gets 2 bombs of their own, and they get 2 of them back. So now you only trail by 2, and it's got to feel good as an arm, and now you just need to put up a 0 in response.
Kicks things off in a lefty-lefty matchup with Blake Schaff, who drove in the first run of the ball game with a ground out in the 2nd. Since then, every run, all 5 of them came on home runs in the 3rd inning. 1-0, fouled off, and the count will even at 1-1. Blake Schaff out of Georgetown. 1 for 5 coming into the day, so now 1 for 6, but 2 runs batted in. After batting .235 in 35 games with the Hoyas, a team that had unprecedented success as compared to years past, the program on the rise, led by Edwin Thompson as that ball is in the dirt. Schaff also with 2 home runs and 10 runs batted in for the Hoyas.
He was a big part of that Georgetown team that I think took everyone in the NCAA baseball world by surprise, and it's a big name that Sanford wants to get going early in this season.
Another pitch fouled off, and count will even at 2 between Schaff and Perriman.
Yeah, and you talked about it a little, Justin, amongst ourselves about he's only 1 for 6 on the stat sheet, but he's put together quality ABs right away, and early on in the season, that's really what you want to see because hits are going to come. You're not going to go 0 for a bunch.
2-2, fouls one off, and was talking to Nick Lops, the manager of the Sanford Mainers, after the game in Valley the other day in which Sanford stranded 16 runners on base, and he was talking to me, he's like, funny part about it is we had so many good at-bats in that game, and the same thing could be said about Mystic, is that this Sanford Mainers team, they make pitchers work like we talked about earlier, and they have good at-bat after good at-bat. And now it's a matter of putting it together like they've done in the last 2 innings, and Schaff trying to kick off a 3rd straight inning of getting a run across for Sanford as he fouls another pitch off.
Yeah, and if you're Perriman, this 0 is imperative. You need something right here. Cannot be the 3rd straight inning where you give up a run.
3 straight foul balls make it 4 straight foul balls. Schaff little out ahead, but kept his bat back just enough.
And we're seeing as Perriman gets later into the game, his breaking stuff isn't breaking as much as it was in the 1st and 2nd. It could be to that prolonged 3rd. It could be a confidence issue, but it's not a good sign if you're Keene. And if you're Perriman, you really want to avoid hanging it.
Nobody warming for Keene as another ball is fouled off. 5 straight foul balls by Blake Schaff, and the count still remains at 2-2.
That was a great fastball. It's up and in at the eyes, and when you're at the plate, especially as a lefty and a lefty-lefty with the ball coming out of a broken record, but the left hand, that thing looks like a beach ball.
Here's the 9th pitch of the at-bat. That one taken just inside, and the count goes full. Perriman now up to 54 pitches here in the top of the 4th. Actually kept his pitch count pretty low in the 3rd despite the 3 runs coming across. It was quick attacks from Sanford. Here, it's different. 10th pitch. This one again fouled off. Blake Schaff with 6 foul balls in this plate appearance.
I mean, that's what you want. You need to fight. If you can make Perriman make a mistake, and if it's not going to come to you right away, if it's close, put a bat on it, see another pitch. Eventually, one of you is going to make a mistake, and if you're a hitter, you just want to put yourself in a position where it could be the arm.
Next pitch, that one goes low. It's ball 4, and it looks like he got our home plate umpire, Robert McHugh.
Yeah, that one hurt. That one hurt. Just went, it hit below, right behind the plate, and just got completely behind Reese. I mean, there was no effort to really block it, obviously, as there's no one on base. Not really much of a chance to do so. Just took a weird bounce, and yeah, definitely want to give Mr. McHugh behind the plate a chance to just walk that one off, but he looks like he's okay.
Looks like he's smiling back there with Reese. Says it's going to be a mound visit here to go talk to Nick Perriman. Sean, if you're going out there, what are you telling Perriman here in this situation? Just walk the leadoff hitter, and now you've got the Mainers lineup and Ryan Colbin, who comes into the day with a couple of hits in his lone appearance so far this summer.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, if you're John Nowak out there talking to Perriman, he's a lefty. He's been here before. He played 2 years at Cal State Bakersfield, and I talked to Nick earlier in the week before the season started. He knows what it's like to go through hard times on a team. Obviously, Cal State Bakersfield not great in the last couple of years. He knows what it's like to endure a lot of hard times on a baseball field, and this is what he's made of. He's built for moments like this. You've struggled from the stretch so far, but you got to trust your defense. You had a couple ground balls in the first inning. You had 2 more in the second. Had nearly 6 ground balls in this game hit. You just try to get another one of those. Trust your defense to flip it.
Ryan Colbin walked in his first plate appearance. He's going to just get that one off the end of the bat. Not sure he knew where he hit it. It's going to be fielded by Perriman. And in time for out number 1. Serves basically again, as we talked about earlier in the game, as a sacrifice, although it does go down as a 1-3 ground out. And now the runner moves into scoring position for Sanford.
It's not the worst thing that could happen for Perriman. We just said it. Get a ground ball. Got a ground ball. Just wasn't really hit well, but you'll take the out. Obviously a runner in scoring position now, but you need to forget about it. And that's a good start for a guy who today has really, really struggled from the stretch.
Brings up Jackson Curtis. Ended the second inning. Fielder's choice ground out. First pitch is low and in the dirt. Nice block behind the plate by Ripken Reese.
Yeah, that's a big one, and I mean, Reese making his first start at catcher for the Bats, and that is one that you really need him to get, and a good job by that. Especially when you have a guy struggling from the stretch and you're down in a game, you cannot have any freebies.
1-0. That one grounded, high bounce. Perriman's going to field. His throw not in time. It's going to go down as an infield single for Jackson Curtis. Runners on the corner with 1 away here in the top of the 4th. Sanford threatening for the 3rd straight inning.
Yeah, it was that hesitation. Really thought about the quick flip to Molinaro at 3rd, but a great job by Schaff. He went on contact right there, saw the downward trajectory off the bat, and just took off. And if he is 1/2 step late off the bag at 2nd, there's 2 outs with the runner at 1st and a fielder's choice. So a great job there. Just that hesitation from Perriman that allowed the runner to reach 1st.
And that high bounce that awarded extra time, as Perriman had to wait for it to come down. First pitch to Mateo Hernandez in there for a strike at 87. Hernandez grounded out to 2nd to begin the 3rd.
It's just that group of things right there, and sometimes when the baseball god's on your side, they're on your side.
Hernandez takes low. Another nice play behind the plate by Ripken Reese. Keeps Jackson Curtis at 1st and Blake Schaff at 3rd for Curtis at first base. 3 for 3 in stolen bases at Husson. So he's successful when he does go, but doesn't go often. Stay puts here has another block. Curtis thought about it but stopped, and now the count 2-1.
Yeah, and I have to wonder how long do we see Perriman. I see an arm in the Keene bullpen, and it looks like it's number 12, Alex Jankowski, who actually pitched yesterday on the road at Valley, only threw, I believe, 7 or 8 pitches due to the rain out. So obviously eligible to go again today, but on back-to-back alert.
2-1, Hernandez takes outside, and the count moves to 3-1 on the 9-hole hitter. Last thing you want to do here if you're Nick Perriman is walk the 9-hole hitter to bring up the top of the order with the bases loaded.
Especially with the 9-hole hitter like Hernandez, who doesn't hit the ball well historically. This is an out you need.
The 3-1, that one hit to the right side, and it's going to get through for an RBI single off the bat of Mateo Hernandez. Curtis nearly finds it out at second base, but a throw gets away. It's an RBI single for Mateo Hernandez, and Sanford, for the third straight inning, has a run. It's 5-2.
Yeah, and I see right now, bullpen catcher, I believe that's J.D. Jones over there with Jankowski. He stopped throwing, and yup, he's going to come in right here. We're going to get a pitching change. That's a tough way to leave your game for Perriman. He started out so strong in the first 2 innings, just the third and the fourth were not his friend.
Sean McKenna is going to go out and pull Nick Perriman. We're going to step aside. Sanford leads 5-2 over Keene here on ESPN+. It's Alex Jankowski taking over on the bump for Keene. He inherits a situation with runners on first and second and just one away. Jankowski out of Stony Brook University didn't pitch this past season, however, did throw yesterday, one appearance this summer, yesterday being that one, a third of an inning, a hit and a strikeout before the rain came through in Valley.
Yeah, he looked really good in that 1/3 inning. Obviously, it's 1/3 inning. Didn't even throw 10 pitches, but he looked really solid. The fastball was there. And the story with Jankowski is, can he get the slider to offset that fastball? Because his fastball is really firm, and it paints the zone really well. But obviously not playing this past season, it hurts a little bit. So really, honestly, the plethora of pitches he's going to throw aren't there, but this is an important outing to get his confidence going. Talked to him after yesterday's game as we were leaving Valley, and he was just kind of like, it's almost like I got out there, threw 3 pitches, and they said game over because it did start pouring rain on him. But glad to see him get going again. Didn't expect him today. Honestly, expect him tomorrow on the road at some time, but a big spot right here. And if he can get out of this without any more damage, could be a big confidence booster for Keene.
Well, it's going to be a battle between Seawolves to kick off Jankowski's appearance. Matt Maselli, the leadoff hitter for Sanford, coming up for his 3rd time here in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2, a single and a run scored in the 3rd, and he's going up against Jankowski, who again, Stony Brook teammate. Jankowski didn't pitch for Stony Brook, but prior to that was with Gaston Community College, posted a 5.40 ERA in 16 appearances in 2023. And pitched for Radford University before that. Now it's his teammate in Maselli, with Jackson Curtis leading off a second. Mateo Hernandez, the RBI single moments ago, leading off of first. First pitch out of the pen for Jankowski. It's going to be popped up in the infield right side. It's going to be Jankowski letting it fall, but they are going to call an infield fly as 4 SwampBats were there, nobody able to glove it. And the infield fly gives Jankowski the first out.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, it's almost like it was perfectly located off the bat of Maselli because it actually hit about a foot from the rubber and took a weird bounce into the bare hand of Jankowski. I don't like him calling that off. Yes, the infield fly rule, but he was going against the wind. That ball was tailing behind his back on the back pedal up the dirt mound. Luckily, infield fly rule exists, and that's a big second out.
Brings up Devin Bade. He homered a long home run his second time up last inning. First pitch taken low and outside for ball 1.
And right now you got 2 outs. Anything. You're forgetting about everyone else because it's just you and the hitter now. You can retire Bade anyways. Fly ball, ground out. It does not matter. You get out of this inning, and that would be huge for the situation you inherited.
Bade's going to drive this one deep right field. Going back is Keene, and he is going to settle down and catch it right on the track. But Sanford scores another run on 2 hits. No errors in the inning, and 2 left on base. At the end of 3.5 innings of play, Sanford leads 5-2 here on ESPN+. Welcome back to Alumni Field. It's going to be a new pitcher on the bump for the Sanford Mainers. The hometown kid, the Sanford native, TJ Curley out of Mount St. Mary's University, takes over, making his first appearance of the summer. Made 9 with Mount St. Mary's this past year, going 1-1 in 16 innings, allowed 9 earned runs, 14 strikeouts to 11 walks. And as I said, from Sanford, Maine, attended Sanford High School, grew up playing his games at Goodall Park, the home of the Sanford Mainers. And for Keene, they're going to bring up 7, 8, 9 in the order to face the lefty.
Yeah, this is a big part of Keene's lineup, as you see now with a righty arm to start in Castelluccio, now a lefty going on in Curley. Keene's got a plethora of switch hitters. They can play the matchups well, so we'll have to see, but they've struggled against lefties this year. Will Jones of North Shore started out the northeastern left-handed arm. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 1 run, and only 2 hits to Keene in 5 innings of work. He was dominant, and every lefty Keene has seen, they have not played well against, so have to see it. And I can go back to Connor Wolf yesterday and the short relief appearance we saw before the rain out at Valley.
It's going to be Victor Izquierdo, the DH, reached on an error by shortstop Matt Maselli back in the 2nd inning. First pitch from Curley is low for ball 1. Good outing by Andrew Castelluccio to start things out here for Sanford, going 3 innings. Allowed a pair of home runs last inning, but he worked into and out of trouble on multiple occasions and all around gave Sanford the chance to win.
Yeah, Izquierdo is that guy that was added really late to the roster, but he's made himself a big part of this lineup offensively and especially defensively. That can be seen as yesterday at Valley, obviously DHing today, but he's a big boy, and he's been really good defensively at first.
Next pitch fouled off, and the count remains at 1-2.
It's actually the first player from either Navy or Army that's on the SwampBats roster.
Pitch low, and it will even things up here at 2-2. Izquierdo, 285 batting average, .383 on base percentage this past year. This one hit right back at Curley. He's going to field, gets it onto Curtis in time for out number 1. As that one got Curley, but he looks to be fine there out on the mound.
Sometimes the baseball gods aren't on your side. That one takes a weird hop off the upslant of the mound, goes right off of the leg of Curley, and great job by TJ Curley right there to really just be on top of it. The minute it hit him, there was no reaction. He just immediately looked down, where's the ball? It just happened to be right by his leg, and big play to start your outing.
First strike here to Jake Keene, the right fielder who just made a play at the wall. He had to turn around on a ball hard hit by Devin Bay. He tonight is 0 for 1, grounded out to second his first time up. This one hit softly into right center field. It's going to get down. Toomey's going to field. He's going to hold Keene to a single. And Keene has a base runner aboard. They've had one in all 4 innings.
That is a big base knock for Keene. I mean, he struggled this year so far early on, but we saw what he did at school at Princeton. He was fantastic this year in 44 games, had 22 doubles and 41 RBIs. He slugged .528 and got on base over 400. Obviously, different level of play in summer and different with the wood bats, but huge hit.
And now it brings up Alicia. 1-0 count, flew out to right field back in the second. Next pitch. That one just misses at 83, and the count moves to 2-1 on the 9-hole hitter. This one hit up the middle to Maselli. 6, flips on to 4. Hernandez on to Curtis in time. 6-4-3. Double play gets Sanford out of the inning. It's a 3 up, 3 down, although a single mixed in their inning for TJ Curley. And at the end of 4 innings of play, Sanford leads 5-2 here on ESPN+. Alex Jankowski going to go out there for his first full inning of work after getting the last 2 outs, in the top of the 4th inning. One on an infield fly rule on Matt Maselli, his college teammate. Then a long fly out by Devin Bade to the warning track. So he'll face 3, 4, and 5 here in his first full inning of work. Jack Toomey, C.J. Willis, and Nathan Barksdale, the outfield today for Sanford, all due up.
Yeah, and this first out is huge. The first batters, you can't even put words to it with Jack Toomey, because if you let Toomey get on, you put a bat up there in C.J. Willis, who has a monster double in right center field that one-hopped the wall, and a no-doubt home run in his last at-bat. Probably right now the early pick for player of the game if Sanford holds on, 2 for 2, a double, a homer. I mean, it's a pretty good night, I'd have to say. But so this one is very important. You cannot let Toomey get on and give Willis a chance to drive home too.
Sanford has put a run, at least one across all of the last 3 innings. 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth. As Toomey steps in. Right fielder from Holy Cross going to take the first pitch off speed at 75 for a strike. Today, Toomey 0 for 2, lowering his batting average to .250 on the summer. Has a home run and 2 runs batted in. Home run, 354 feet to right field. Sanford the other day. So that one's taken low for ball one. You're in his second summer in the Mainers green and yellow, as he started to turn up his bat late last season and has started the season in a similar way, getting on base constantly, albeit just 3 games in. 1-1, Toomey takes it inner portion of the plate, but first strike in the count, 1-2.
And that's such a dangerous pitch on both levels for a righty-righty matchup, that slider that starts in the box and finds the inner third, because if you're a pitcher, it's dangerous. If you're a hitter, though, and you can guess it, oh, man, that ball can be gone if it's hung.
1-2 in the dirt. Toomey didn't go around, and the count to 2-2.
I mean, yeah, obviously it looked like he held back. I'm shocked Keene didn't ask for a check. I mean, it doesn't hurt the check, and I'm beyond shocked we didn't get one right there.
I actually believe it's 1-2, and the reason there was no check was because that one actually got Toomey's bat. So the count 1-2. Jankowski delivers. This one hit sharply, foul down the left field line. Just kept hooking towards the line. Hard hit ball by Toomey.
Yeah, and there's that slider that starts in the box and then gets the inner third right there in the righty-righty matchup. It hung in the middle third of the plate, and it's exactly what he said as a pitcher. It can scare a batter, but if you're a hitter and you know it's coming and you can size that thing up, I think it was pieced down the left field line.
See if Toomey can straighten it out here. 1-2. That one inside, called strike 3. Toomey doesn't like it, but he goes down for the first out here in the top of the 5th. Fastball at 90 there. And that brings up C.J. Willis. 2 for 2, 2 extra base hits, 2 runs scored, a home run to drive in a run. It's the second home run in the third, following Devin Bade's 2-run home run. Willis feeling it tonight, and he's going to take this one up the middle. 3 for 3 for C.J. Willis, and he's a triple shy of the cycle here in the 5th.
That's not the worst thing that can happen with a bat like Willis that is absolutely seeing the ball so well. I mean, that one left the bat at 101 miles an hour, and believe it or not, that's the hardest hit ball he's had all day, and he's had a homer and a long double in right center field. So I guess when you're seeing the ball, you see the ball, and you'll take a single from a scorching hot bat.
C.J. Willis, again, came into the day 0 for 7, 3 for 3 today. His batting average now reads .300 on the young summer as Nathan Barksdale comes to the plate. Batting 2 for 9 this summer after going 0 for 2 to start the day. Had an RBI single in Sanford's last game 2 nights ago. Willis takes off, hit and run. Barksdale fouls it off, and the count to 0-1.
I don't know how much of a hit and run that was, as much of a delayed chop swing, but it was an off-speed pitch, and it was up in the zone. So I think it was more of a, oh, this ball's hanging, I can crush it, last-second decision, because it didn't look like Barksdale was going to swing at that at all. It looked like an auto take, just get the bag at second, hopefully. But might have been called into his own hands of, hey, I can hit this ball, and he almost did.
Willis had a little hesitation before taking off at first. See what's going on the base paths here. Nothing going. The 0-1 swung on and missed low. And the count to 0-2.
There's that slider that we said with Jankowski, that if he can get that thing going to complement his fastball, that sits 90, 91, he can get up to about 92, 93, but if you can add a quality high 70s slider, even get that maybe to the low 80s with the vertical drop, it can be pretty.
See what he goes to here. The 0-2, that one looked to be another slider, no swing from Barksdale. And the count goes now to 1-2. Pitch touch 79. Good couple of mile-per-hour difference on his slider.
Yeah, and the break looks different as well, the hand. And if you can mix it up as a pitcher.
That one, now they're going to go for a pickoff. Willis gets in safely as fastball missed in the count 2-2. Good try by Reese behind the plate. Willis stood back into first. Barksdale out of Austin P State. Hit 267 in 15 at-bats, was 4 for 15. Drove in a pair. For a team that clinched a share of a regular season title Ended up losing in the A-Sun tournament. That one taken low in the count at 3-2.
Yeah, just missed that one in the lower third, and beautiful patience. That's a major league take right there because you got a pitch that's close with a 2-strike count, man on pace, one of what you don't want to waste the AB, obviously. That's gutsy to take that and hoping you can get something you like here on the payoff pitch.
Third full count worked by Manor hitters here today. Willis dances off of first. The payoff pitch is just fouled off, and they'll do it again. The last 3-2 count went 11 pitches and resulted in a walk. That was Blake Schaff. He's on deck.
And that pitch was painted on the outside corner, and that's a slider that looks like it's starting right in the wheelhouse where you can golf swing that thing out of here, but it just breaks away, and the slider's been unreal for Jankowski in this inning especially. I mean, you love to see it from a guy who didn't pitch this year. You want to see him get it going here and go back to Stony Brook on fire.
Willis still dancing, trying to distract Jankowski. Can't. The 3-2 hanging pitch that Barksdale fouls off to stay alive. Has a career 270 average, 370 on base percentage, and 336 slugging percentage at Austin Peay. Was named to the OVC All-Freshman team before the team moved conferences. Out of Clarksville, Tennessee. The 3-2. That one swung on and missed. It's the second strikeout of the inning for Jankowski, and 2 away, and a runner sits off first.
It's a good at-bat, and you love to see Jankowski. And once again, when you're an arm that doesn't throw a lot in the spring, it's hard to get in those long ABs, mentally, physically, everything. And it's good to see the righty fight through that one. Still a very quality AB from Barksdale, and he's 0 for 3, but he's put together 2 very quality at-bats back-to-back.
Blake Schaft here, 0 for 1, but an RBI ground out and an 11-pitch walk his last time up, which came an inning ago. Takes the first pitch for a ball here against Jankowski. Schaff out of Oakland, California. Former first-team All-League at the Royce School in 2022 and 2023. Takes the second pitch. Low as well on the count to 2-0.
You got to fight back right here. You cannot do that again. That's back-to-back pitches that really have not even been close. And I like to see Jankowski step off right there. I like that little step off. Try to compose yourself because this just has to be in the zone. And it's his first righty-lefty.
Jankowski. Here's the 2-0. That one does find the zone at 87 for a strike.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's really pretty on the inside corner, and you can see Schaff right now asking where it was, but really good spot from Jankowski, and you'll love to see him go opposite, go right inside on a lefty and get that ball trailing in.
Willis still leading off of first. He's going to go. The pitch is a ball, and Willis will have his second stolen base of the summer. So Blake Schaft is now in a 3-1 account ahead of Jankowski, and C.J. Willis is now in scoring position here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, so now I guess it's kind of the same thing as if it would have been at first. First base is open. A walk's not the end of the world right here. And I like this visit a lot to calm him down. Discuss what to do here. I think he's telling him, don't worry about leaving it over. Make Schaff hit it. He's hit the ground ball he had, the driving run in the second was not well hit at all. And obviously the very good walk last inning. So it's a guy who's going to give you a quality AB. But he hasn't been able to put a barrel on anything yet. Everything's just been foul or weakly chopped over into the infield. So I don't think you can pitch around him here. You have to attack even with the bag open.
Jeff Hines came and said something to the lefty hitter. So waiting the 3-1 pitch. Here it comes. That one in there for a strike, outer half at 88, and the count goes full.
The perfect pitch right there, exactly what you need to do. 3-1, you just want to strike. Now 3-2, first base is open once again. Sound like a broken record, but you can really go to anything here, and I'd love to see if he trusts his slider, try to go in the back foot.
He's going to step off first, so 3-2 coming. here with 2 outs. Runner leading off a second. Sanford leads 5-2 here on ESPN+. Schaff went from a 1-pitch ground out to an 11-pitch walk, and here it's going to be the 6th pitch of the at-bat coming from Jankowski. This one popped up, and he fouls one off after having an at-bat. His last one, or plate appearance rather, with plenty of foul balls.
Yeah, there's the fastball, but right here, if you're Jankowski, your slider's been probably your best pitch in the last couple ABs. I would not mind seeing a slider that, starts obviously on the lower part of the middle, but just goes onto the back foot because it's got a lot of horizontal run out of that right hand. So see what he goes to. It's a big one.
The next payoff pitch. This one misses low, ball 4. Blake Schaff reaches on a walk for the 2nd consecutive inning. And the Mainers stay alive here with 2 outs and brings up Ryan Colbin, who's 0 for 1, but also worked a walk back in the 2nd.
And that was such a good pitch, and that's such an even better take. Sometimes when you're a pitcher, you just got to tip your cap because he really couldn't have placed that pitch better. It was right on the edge to where if you're a hitter, you don't want to take that as a 3-2 to possibly end an inning.
Good eye from Schaff gets him to first. Brings up Colbin, as we said. Colbin's going to swing away here and fouls off the first pitch. Was well out ahead of it at 80 miles per hour. Colbin appeared in 9 games during his freshman year with UMass, the Maine native. Had a hit in 11 at-bats. He's 1 for 2 here this summer. Appeared as a defensive replacement against Mystic. Runners take off, ball in the dirt. They're going to throw down a second. It's going to nearly get into center, but backing it up is a shortstop, and it's going to be a double steal for Sanford. And a little concern as Schaff collided with Alessia on the slide in at second.
Yeah, it looks a little shaken up, and you got to give the credit, though, on that one to Ripken Reese behind the plate. That ball barely made it to the plate, and he was already in the middle of his pop-up to recover from the double steal when that pitch got to him. So to be able to be in your pop-up, be ready to go, and to be able to reach down with the left arm and snag that one off one hop, and the throw was still semi-close given all the circumstances he had to fight through right there. But now if you're Jankowski, this has to be perfect. You cannot let these two score. A 7-2 lead would just be, I don't even think, that's hard to come back from on an offense that has 4 hits through 4 innings.
Alessia okay over at second, but now 2 runners in scoring position for Ryan Colbin. Jankowski deals here. This one fouled off the end of the bat, and Jankowski a strike away from getting out of trouble. Sanford has already stranded 3 on base and 2 in scoring position over the first 4 innings of play. If Jankowski has his way, he'll increase those numbers to 5 on base and 3 in scoring position. But Colbin looking to stay alive. Here's the 1-2. That one nearly clips Colbin. He gets out of the way of it, and the count evens at 2 apiece.
It's not a bad pitch. I get it right there out of the hand. I understand why that was thrown. I think it slipped away a little bit, but not a bad idea to go fastball inside. Maybe try to back him off because he does have that front foot really close to the dish at the top side.
The last 2 counts have gone full. Will it be 3 straight? The 2-2. That one in the dirt. It will be 3 straight that go full as Colbin holds up his hand and tells C.J. Willis, don't come home. Willis goes back to third. So it'll be a 3-2 with 2 outs. Willis leading off a third, Schaff off a second, Jankowski the pitcher, Colbin the hitter. Here it comes. That one fouled off, and they'll do the 3-2 all over again.
And there's a lefty in the bullpen for Keene. I believe that's the only arm I see up at least. It looks like it's going to be Dane Burns going into his sophomore season at Mississippi State. But with it being a lefty and a righty hitter on deck, I can't imagine that they have a plan if Jankowski can't get out of this one at this hitter to bring him in with a lefty-righty.
Jankowski's 30th pitch, and that one is going to hit Colbin in the hand, and the umpire is going to say no, it got the bat. Colbin instantly started walking to first. You didn't hear the bat, and he's holding his hand out.
You didn't hear anything, so you wonder if it just got a piece of the hand, obviously, but it's a tough call to make as an umpire, and I don't really know how you plead your case.
Colbin's taking off his batting glove, trying to show something. You can bring the other two umpires in to see if they heard anything. Again, I did not hear a foul ball. And now they are going to say, yes, it did hit him. And Sean McKenna, is he going to come out to talk to the umpire or go grab his pitcher? He's going to stop at the umpire. Not sure if he's going to go any further. That's Robert McHugh behind the plate. So it's a hit by pitch to load the bases. Jankowski struck out Jack Toomey looking to start the inning, then allowed a single on the first pitch to C.J. Willis. The last three batters have all ran full. He struck out Barksdale swinging, and then a walk and a hit by pitch. And now there will be a mound visit, although Jankowski will stay out there on the bump.
Yeah, I can't expect you go to Burns. I cannot expect you go lefty-righty, especially with a team that we've gotten the notion they're going to be very analytical and analytically sound this year. That would just be the complete opposite, going to a left-handed pitcher with a big right-handed hitter and Jackson Curtis up. This just has to be, right now from John Nock, this just has to be to Jankowski. Settle in. There's a force in any base. It's any out gets you out. It doesn't matter how it is. Strikeout, long pop fly, easy ground out, sharp ground out. Trust your defense. They've been really solid today.
Ryan Colbin talked to Jackson Curtis. Now Jeff Hines talking to Jackson Curtis. As the bases are loaded in arguably the biggest situation we have seen here tonight. C.J. Willis leads off third. Blake Schaff off a second. Ryan Colbin, who was hit by a pitch on his hand, leads off first. But it's Jankowski versus Curtis. Curtis tonight, 1 for 2 with a single. Takes the first pitch, that one called a strike. On the inner portion of the plate. Curtis singled last inning. Was stranded at second to end the inning. No one off speed. That one hit on the ground towards short. Romano picks it up across the diamond, and he will get Jackson Curtis as the Mainers strand the bases loaded. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and 3 left on base. At the end of 4.5, it's 5-2 Sanford here on ESPN Plus.
Look for another one, and they're in the 7th inning stretch. We'll have another time. Thank you.
TJ Curley steps back onto the bump here at Alumni Field. His counterpart in Alex Jankowski just tight walked out of trouble, stranding the bases loaded in the top of the 5th. Curley got through the 4th, allowed a single, but a 6-4-3 double play ended it. So a 1-2-3 inning of sorts for Curley, his first inning in relief of Andrew Castelluccio, who went 3 innings, allowed 2 home runs, but also racked up 3 strikeouts in the process while allowing just 2 walks. As it's going to be 1, 2, and 3. Jakonski, Reese, and House due up here in the 5th. Jakonski and Reese homered back-to-back in the 3rd and final inning of work for Castelluccio. Jakonski bats from the left side, and here against the lefty pitcher in TJ Curley. The first pitch, that one in there for a strike. And the count starts out with no balls and 1 strike.
This is where you really need your leadoff hitter to be your leadoff hitter, to say the lack of better words.
Jakonski led off the third with that home run. It went 381 feet at 101 miles per hour off the bat. The 1-1's going to clip him, and Jakonski is going to start things out on first base. Make it now 4 of the 5 innings in which Keene has had their leadoff hitter on base.
I mean, sometimes when you get on base, you get on base. Jakonski on the year now is 2 for 3 technically on the stat sheet with 4 walks. And he just got hit by another pitch, so like he just gets on base, I guess. I mean, there's just something about Jakonski right now that's the baseball god saying, hey, take your 90 feet or sometimes more, as we've seen 2 bombs.
First pitch to Curley, or from Curley to Reese, is for a strike. So Jakonski, like Sean said, 2 for 3 on the year, both hits, home runs, both of the solo variety. He has 4 walks and 2 hit by pitches. Curley's going to go check on him, but Jakonski easily back in there. Reese at the plate. He followed up the home run by Jakonski with one 374 feet and 92 miles per hour off the bat. A huge swing there, and the count is 0-2.
Yeah, that swing was, I'm going to do it again. He just homered, and that swing was, I'm feeling it, I'm seeing the ball well, and just got under it.
The 0-2, swung on and missed. TJ Curley gets his first strikeout of the appearance, and the first out of the bottom of the 5th.
Not a good at-bat. You cannot walk up there and just go 3 up, 3 down and trot back. That's a tough one, especially when the offense has been pretty dead all day. You have 4 hits, and Reese was one of them with that home run, so now you need the middle part of the order with 3-4. That's a combined 0 for 4 to step up, and it starts here with Brett House.
House struck out and popped up to first base. And we'll take a first pitch strike at 84 from Curley. Curley again pitched last season with Mount St. Mary's. Does currently find himself in the portal. Next pitch is fouled off in the count to 0-2. Opening day at Goodall Park, or the home opener 2 nights ago, it was Curley, as they announced the reserves for Sanford, who got the loudest round of applause, being the hometown kid. And here he is on the road in New Hampshire, pitching for his hometown team in the green and gold. The 0-2. Strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts, 6 strikes, or 6 pitches, 6 strikes for TJ Curley.
That can't happen if you're Keene. You cannot get gifted a leadoff hit by pitch and then nonetheless back-to-back strikeouts, but 6 pitches and you go down on all 6 looking. You just can't do that where you go swinging, looking, and 6 pitches and you got 2 outs just like that.
Brings up Alex Calarco, 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts both to center field as the first pitch bounced up there at 70 miles per hour.
Yeah, during BP, I mean, his switch hitter, obviously, he did not take swings from the right side, being that there was a righty starting on the mound for the Mainers. So it's going to be interesting. How does he take his first rip?
Next pitch in there for a strike. So the count to 1-1. 85 there on the fastball from Curley. Back-to-back strikeouts after the leadoff hit by pitch. And now Colvin's going to throw to first, and a nice pick by Jackson Curtis saved an error.
I like that throw because Jakonski was really, really antsy over there at the bag. And I honestly was about to say Jakonski might go because he looked like he was ready to take off, and it would make sense for Keene to send him.
Jakonski 6 of 9 in stolen base attempts at school. Stays put as the 1-2 evens the count at 2-2. Larco plays his college ball in the Big Ten. First year with Maryland. As the runner and Jakonski takes off, he'll slide in safely as the ball got behind Colvin on the transfer.
Yeah, so that plays big for 2 reasons. Obviously, not have a runner in scoring position, all this, all that. But if that ball gets even more away and goes to the backstop, it could have been an extra bag. But you got to also look, Jakonski did not have his head up. Good play to just put your head down and go to second. But kind of a break caught on both ends. Jakonski might have been able to go to third if he had his head up.
And TJ Curley strikes him out. Fastball right down the middle at 84. 3 straight strikeouts to end the inning by TJ Curley, stranding the leadoff hit by pitch at second base. At the end of 5 innings of play, it's 5-2 Sanford here on ESPN+.
We are Keene State. Here, we believe that everyone is welcome and anything is possible.
Look closer. We are a tight-knit community, an inclusive community, where people can be their true selves. Bring your ability, background, culture, or traditions, whatever makes you you.
You already have what it takes. Welcome to Keene State.
New pitcher on the mound for Keene as we head to the top of the 6th here at Alumni Field and here on ESPN+. Justin Chevalella and Sean Meza bring you the action, and a new pitcher in Dane Burns out of Mississippi State.
Yeah, Burns is one of the 2 Mississippi State procs in this team, and they're both kind of the same way. They're big SEC commits out of high school, so they don't really play. He did not play this year in Mississippi State, obviously, but was the 20th ranked left-handed pitcher in Texas, which you may look at that and be like 20th ranked in the state, but it's Texas. We know the kind of athletes Texas produces on every single level, and this is an SEC boy at its finest. 6'5", 215 as a 19-year-old, and he throws some serious heat. I mean, low 9s can semi get up there to 94, 95, and he's got a really nice breaking ball to complement it. It's a big spot here for Burns, and really his first action in a long time, so going to be very, very interested to see how he attacks here. I mean, you're down 3. You really just got to come in this game and hold it. You got to put up the second straight 0 your pitching staff has put up and get your offense going, because right now, if you're Keene, the offense is very inconsistent, very streaky, and after that leadoff hit by pitch, stolen base on second, and then 1, 2, 3, just like that, all strikeouts. It's a little bit of a gut punch, for lack of better words.
Takes over for Alex Jankowski, who goes 1 2/3 and escaped 2 troubling situations. 2 runners on and 1 out in the 4th. Got a pop out of Matt Maselli and then a fly out of Bade, and then loaded the bases last inning, but got a ground out of Jackson Curtis to end it. So it's Mateo Hernandez kicking things off, the 9-hole hitter today. 1 for 2 with an RBI single. And he shows bunt but misses, and the count to 0-1.
Yeah, so I guess he was holding back during the warm-up, because I said he might get the 95. Well, the first fastball he throws is 95 miles an hour, so must have been holding back when he was throwing warm-ups, because he was sitting 92, 93, but some serious heat from the left side.
Fastest pitch Sanford has seen this season. The 0-1 is off speed, I guess, at 90 still, and the count to 1-2.
You could call it that, I guess, but I mean, you're seeing right away why you're so highly touted, and if you're recruited by Mississippi State out of high school, you must be pretty darn good.
The 0-2 swung on and missed, as Burns gets the first strikeout of his appearance against the first batter he sees, and the order flips over, and Matt Maselli comes up.
Yeah, that was a pretty gross off-speed pitch right there. 84 with a really, really good spin rate nearing 2,600, and I mean, that thing just fell off of a cliff, seemingly.
Maselli 1 for 3 on his birthday so far. A single in the 3rd, came around to score an at-bat later when Devin Bade left the yard. He takes a first pitch strike at 94, and the count goes to 0-1. So 4 pitches from Burns so far. All 4 have been strikes, and he is topped out at 95. A 1. Maselli fouls it off, and the count to 0-2. That pitch again at 95.
That pitch is lethal. 95 with over 2650 spin rate consistently. I mean, that is the epitome of I was recruited highly out of high school, and I was very, very highly touted and have a lot of talent to showcase this summer.
That pitch runs inside and then gets to the backstop. First ball we've seen from Burns here.
Yeah, and I think right now, honestly, Justin, if you're Maselli and you're Sanford, you're just looking for a good AB. Last time he came up against Jankowski, and the infield fly rule, obviously, with runners on base at first and second and one away. You're just looking for a good AB down 0-2. Just want to see him fight off a couple pitches.
1-2. This one's going to be hit the other way into right field, right down the line. The right fielder's not going to be able to get there. It falls in front of Keene for a single, the second of the game for Matt Maselli. Jammed him a little, left the bat at 71, but Maselli kept it fair. And it's a one-out single for Sanford.
Yeah, sometimes you just get those lucky bloopers, and I mean, I immediately off the bat, I saw that one. I didn't think it was going to tail enough and just stayed fair. That's big. That's big because the at-bat he had in the fourth wasn't pretty. That one didn't start pretty at the 0-2. You get lucky with a pitch in the dirt and then jammed a little bit, but hey, it went your way. You're on first. You'll take it.
Devin Bade up now 1 for 3, a 2-run home run. First pitch taken inside for a ball. Bade's home run scored Maselli in the third. It was the first of 2 home runs in the third. Ahead 1-0 here. Takes another pitch outside at 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, right now if you're Burns, you're out of the stretch, and that bloop single could kill your confidence, but you just have to forget about it right here. This needs to be a ground ball, and you throw really, really hard. And you love the fastball, so if you can get Bade to roll over it, you could get that inning double play that you really, really drastically want and need.
Bade named to the first team All-American East, and he's going to swing and miss. As Burns gets his first strikeout here to the third hitter he's facing.
Yeah, we've seen some serious heat from Keene pitchers this year. On opening day, we saw Isaac Williams, and he was touching 98 consistently during his outing. 97, 98, and that's all he went to. Now, if you're Burns, they haven't proven, besides the bloop single, obviously, they can even come close to your fastball. I don't see a reason you go away from it.
2-1. That one runs inside, nearly clips him. Count to 3-1.
You just got to calm down. He's young. It's a young arm, and what the young arms do when people get on base, they panic. They freak out. That's where you see the veteran difference, as you like to call it, where guys who have been here before, they know how to handle it. Burns doesn't know how to handle it at the collegiate level. He didn't play a lot this year at Mississippi State. You just have to calm down.
3-1 popped up in the infield. That's a major league pop-up. Second baseman Alisea is able to field it and catch it for out number 2. That ball was a mile high. All for the second out.
And that's big. That's big right there, because we just talked about it before that pitch was thrown. You have to be able to calm down. That's something that separates the boys from the men when it comes to college, when it comes to the professional level, throughout the minor leagues, even in the majors. The guys who can stay composed when stuff doesn't go their way, and a bloop single is the epitome of stuff not going your way.
Brings up Jack Toomey. Toomey's going to take a first pitch on the inner black for strike 1. Toomey 0 for 3 today, struck out looking his last time up in the 5th. This is following a 3 for 4 performance against Mystic 2 nights ago. 0-1 taken high for ball 1. For Sanford yesterday, the players were in uniform in the dugout, Upper Valley on the field, taking batting practice, and out of nowhere, rain just started pouring down on Goodall Park. And unfortunately ended the chance of play. 1-1 misses outside, and the count to 2-1.
You had a lot of trouble with rain yesterday throughout the NECBL. It can be the same with Keene. Alex Jankowski on the mound, and it starts to subtly rain. I pointed out in the broadcast, and then all of a sudden it's an absolute downpour, and they call the game just like that. And it happened in a lot of games. Bottom of the 9th in North Shore's game, it started raining, and they couldn't end it.
2-1. That one in there for a strike. No subtle rain yesterday in Sanford. Just came right down out of nowhere. Luckily tonight, a clear night so far here in Keene, New Hampshire. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Number 2 leads off of first base. Pitch from Burns. That one hit hard to third. Nice play by Molinaro. He gets the throw off, but it's going to go wide. A tough hop, a beautiful play. And we'll see how it's ruled. I'd like to say that should be a hit off the bat of Jack Toomey, but the throw might give it an error.
That's a tough play to make. I mean, it took a weird hop in front of the bag, and it went against the momentum of Molinaro's body moving towards the line. It went through the middle, and they're going to score it a hit, as they should. That's not a routine play. I mean, I'm surprised he even got out the glove and had a chance at it behind his back.
Nice job, because Matt Maselli could easily be at third base or even scoring on that play had that gotten into left field. So at minimum, Molinaro keeps Sanford from scoring their 6th run for now, but it's C.J. Willis who has had himself a night, 3 for 3. Double, a home run, and a single. 1-0 in there for strike one at 92.
Yeah, and sometimes you look at ABs and you think, that changed the game. You look back later and you go, that's where the game changed. We just had one with bases loaded with Keene. Their offense obviously does nothing the next half inning. This is probably that at bat, if I'd have to say it.
1-1. Off-speed pitch misses, and the count to 2-1. Sanford has stranded 5 runners on base over the last 2 innings. C.J. Willis would love to come through here and make sure that isn't a problem just yet for the Mainers. 5 runs on 9 hits so far. The 2-1, that one outer half of the plate for a strike.
And if you're Burns, I mean, if he gets this out, I don't know if we'll see it. Obviously never seen him pitch before, but this would be something where if I'm a pitcher, if I get this out, I'm getting excited. I'm getting my team riled up. We'll have to see what he brings here.
2-2, 2 runners on, 2 outs. That one hit the other way. It's going to stay fair off the bat of Willis. Maselli's going to round third. He's going to score. Here comes Toomey. He's also going to score. Willis chugging for third, and C.J. Willis has himself the cycle. It's a 2-run triple for the outfielder from Quinnipiac, and Sanford leads 7-2.
It's impressive, man. I thought you jinxed him his last step out, the single, saying the triple away from the cycle. And I honestly was ready to tell you off air, I think you just jinxed him, but man, oh man, that thing just kept tailing off the inside of the bat. And as we just said, it was well hit, but when luck is on your side, luck's on your side. The weird hop over the line, and almost no chance for Keene, who's playing nearly in the right center gap, to get over to that thing. And there was no hesitation around second. Willis was going 99.9 out of 100 times.
C.J. Willis knew what was on the line there, and now he's got himself the cycle as Nathan Barksdale takes a first pitch ball. 7-2 now, Sanford leads. Next pitch, that one also hit the other way out into right field. This one is going to be caught by Jake Keene for out number 3, but not before Sanford could strike for another 2 runs on 3 hits. The big one, a triple, as the cycle is completed by Willis. And at the end of 5.5, Sanford leads 7-2 here at Alumni Field. Jackson Walsh will take over on the mound for the Sanford Mainers, here making his second appearance of the summer in his third season in the NECBL. Walsh pitched 3 innings, allowed 2 hits, an earned run, and had 2 strikeouts against Valley 2 days ago out of Wheaton College. Had 22 appearances out of the pen for them, a .431 ERA. In 39 2/3, allowed 46 hits, 21 runs, 19 of which were earned, and had 11 strikeouts. For a team that had a lot of success this past season, Rhode Island native pitching here with a 5-run lead.
You're seeing a lot of arm side run, obviously. Call me Captain Obvious with that take, because it's going to be interesting. How does Keene react? This is the first semi-submarine pitcher they're seeing. He's not full-blown, but kind of teeters with submarine, more sidearm and a horizontal release out of that right hand. But you're seeing it. That ball is running heavily into the left-hand batter's circle. So how do the SwampBats change their approach? And you can see hitting coach Casey O'Brien right now talking to his guys with Bryce Molinaro and et cetera with Nick Romano. It's going to be interesting to see.
It'll be Molinaro, Romano, and Izquierdo. That is 5, 6, and 7 due up here for Keene.
I know it might not show it on the scoreboard, but if you're Keene right now and you're the Bats, your offense needs to get going, because while, yes, 7 runs on 10 hits for Sanford, whose offense has looked really good, Dane Burns looked really good in that inning. It's not his fault that 2 baseballs just happened to tail fair. He was pitching extremely well, just baseball gods weren't on his side for a couple, and if you're Keene, you have to support your arms.
First pitch out of the pen for Jackson Walsh will miss for a ball. So TJ Curley goes 2 out of the pen. He faces 7 hitters over 2 innings. Had 3 strikeouts all last inning, as this one's fouled off. Allowed a hit and also had a hit by pitch in there.
This is a very interesting change, and a really, really good change at that for the Mainers on the mound. They go from a righty who throws almost 90 to a lefty who doesn't throw that fast to now almost a submarine pitcher.
This one fouled off down the third base line. Sean McKenna makes a nice barehanded play on it. This pitch misses outside. Count to 2-2.
What a leave right there. I mean, but now if you are on the mound with Walsh, you have Molinaro off balance. If you jam him right here, I think you can get him looking.
Well, the 2-2 missed, and it's 3-2 to Bryce Molinaro.
Still very off balance. He went low and away again, so we'll have to see. And there's already an arm moving, at least, in the Keene dugout. I have to assume Burns goes another.
Payoff pitch is hit nicely into right center field. Molinaro has the center fielder Barksdale on the track. He leaps and makes the catch against the fence.
Wow. Wow. Call that a defensive run save if I've ever seen one. I mean, he didn't rob it necessarily, but that's at least a double. And if he misses that, it takes a weird hop off the yellow lining. Could be a 3-bagger right there. That's a heck of a play by Barksdale.
Barksdale patrolling all of center field. Went into the gap. Communicated with Jack Toomey. And a long out, number 1. As Nicholas Romano steps in 0 for 2 today, struck out his last time up, and will take a first pitch just low for ball 1. Keene scored both of their runs in the third, as this one's going to be grounded to third. Tough hop. Mateo off balance. Nice play on to Curtis in time for the second out.
And what a job to read that one. I mean, that's hard to read off the bat, and a really good job by Hernandez. And that's kind of the scouting report on him. At third base, it's a black hole over there. He is very reliable at the hot corner. And while that one might not have been hot off the bat, it was a really, really tough defensive play and a good one at that in the front charge.
So far, quick work out of the pen from Jackson Walsh as Victor Izquierdo, the DH, comes in. 0 for 2. Reached on an error, then grounded back out to the pitcher. At that point was Curley. It hit off of him. Head 1-0. Evens it up at 1-1 as he swings and misses.
You tried to golf swing that one away, and this is a bat that you start to worry about. He had 2 hits on opening day, and his swing looks really, really nice, but if it starts getting cold, it might not go his way mentally.
Izquierdo fouls this one off. Playing for the U.S. Naval Academy, he was able to get on to the Patriot League Championship. They lost to Army, but the Navy did beat Holy Cross and Jack Toomey, who's out in right field for Sanford. Connections all over the field. As Walsh, the Wheaton College right-handed pitcher. 1-2. Misses low in the count to 2-2. That one misses as well, and the count is now full.
It's hard for these Keene hitters right now with the difference in speed. That one was 80, but the 2 prior pitches were 69 and 71 respectively.
Payoff pitch. Misses, and that's going to be the first walk issued by Maynard's pitchers since the 2nd inning.
I think that's been the story of the NECBL is whenever a pitching staff just doesn't give out free bags. We've seen it all over the place, especially Keene knows it very well from Valley yesterday, where they scored 8 runs on 3 hits. And yes, that's a real number. I had to double take at the scoreboard myself, but it's been a story of who doesn't walk people. And yeah, that kind of sounds pretty obvious, but it's a blatant trend so far in the NECBL.
First pitch here to Keene is outside for ball 1. Keene today 1 for 2. Had a single in the 4th, but he was erased on a double play that ended the inning. 1-0 from Walsh, making his 2nd appearance this summer, is hit sharply into left field. It's going to get down. Willis cuts it off. He's going to keep the runner in Izquierdo at 2nd, and it's a single, the 2nd of the night for Keene. So now 2 on and 2 outs for Alex Alicia.
Yeah, and that's an at bat. That's a hit that it was smoked, 100 off the bat. But honestly, if you're the Sanford coaching staff right now, you're kind of disappointed in Willis. He read that thing not great off the bat, for lack of better words. And honestly, if he moves immediately to his right, he might have a chance at that ball. He just moved back left. I think he thought it was gone.
First pitch is a strike. Single from Keene, fell in front of Willis. Hit on a sharp line. Alicia 0 for 2. The crucial inning-ending double play in the 4th. First inning out of the pen for TJ Curley. Jackson Walsh in now in relief of Curley. The 3rd pitcher used for Sanford. Sanford got some help from the postponement last night. Not have to use any pitchers. The 0-2. That one dug for into center field. Barksdale gets it as it hangs up just enough for him for out number 3. So the inning bookend by flyouts to center field. 2 reach, they're both stranded. And at the end of 6 innings of play, Sanford Mainers up 7-2 on ESPN+.
Drink, launch, hydrate. Win the moment.
We're very fortunate in Eisenberg to have graduate assistantships that help a student with the cost of the program.
Our graduate assistants have benefits, not only tuition and fee waivers, but very attractive stipend and health care.
McCormick and Eisenberg is one of the best bargains out there.
We're back at Alumni Field, and the Sanford Mainers have had the only offense since that third inning where we saw 3 for the visiting Mainers and 2 for Keene, the only 2 the SwampBats have been able to muster. Their offense has been stifled. 2 runs, 5 hits through 6 innings of work. And now they return to Dane Burns looking for anything at all to try to hold this thing at the 5-run deficit, as we got 3 innings and 9 outs remaining for the SwampBat offense to hopefully come alive. And that was a killer end to the bottom of the 6th inning for an offense that if they can get that one to drop and get something going, this could be a different ball game right now.
It could be. They have stranded a ton of runners on base so far, 7 to be exact. Of those 7, 5 have been in scoring position. So you just bring a couple of those around, you're talking about a completely different ball game. But here, 7-2, and really Sanford just has all the momentum that they need right now.
And now it brings up number 7, Blake Schaff, to the plate. The lefty has walked in back-to-back plate appearances, has a stolen bag as well tonight, but is 0 for 1. Watch it go for a strike. He's had an interesting night at the plate. Obviously, 0 for 1 with 2 walks, but he also has an RBI on that 0 for 1. So really you look at it, and you kind of count it in your head as a hit. You count it in your head as it was a productive AB. Burns now delivers the 0-1. It's downstairs and got a piece of the bottom half, 0-2, and that's what we saw from Burns. He commands his zone really well and just had a few unlucky hits drop. And then, of course, C.J. Willis does C.J. Willis things and got his triple for the cycle. Got 2 RBIs on a trailing ball into right field. As the 0-2 from Burns, the breaking ball dropped, third strike. There won't even be a throwdown attempt. They'll just tag Schaff, who I don't think had any idea that it was dropped behind the plate. But there's 1 away.
Nice piece of pitching there from Hall on the mound. It's been a tough out, has Blake Schaff been, especially his last 2 plate appearances, but there, all handled him with, or pardon me, Burns, that is, handled him with ease.
And seeing J.D. Jones behind the plate for Ripken Reese is one defensive substitution we've gotten. As they love, we've seen from Sean McKenna, his team loves to just change up the catchers with the pitchers, and some pitchers are more comfortable, obviously, with certain guys behind the plate. And that's why we see Jones now in with Burns. We also saw Jones yesterday go in when Jankowski entered the game at Valley. Fastball upstairs, finds the zone to even up at 1-1. Burns trying to settle in now on Ryan Colbin, who's also 0 for 1, but has reached twice with a walk and a hit by pitch. Swings through that one on a 1-2 on the heater, reading at 92 miles an hour.
Burns looks a lot more comfortable here. 2nd inning out of the bullpen.
And if you're Keene, you just need something to build off momentum, and that could be it. 93 miles an hour, swung right through. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Dane Burns. There's 2 away quickly.
That's 3 strikeouts now, an inning and 2/3 from Burns.
All in unisons, too, as he had one to end the 6th, and then, or excuse me, he had one in the 6th. Not unisons, in the 6th, and then had 2 just like that. Ugly swing down low and a nasty breaking ball that just fell off a cliff to go 0-1 on Jackson Curtis, the first baseman. Curtis had a few big defensive plays the last couple innings at first base. A few jumps that he got his foot on the bag for big outs and helped his infield out as he dodges that one, plays a little bit of limbo. Gets the legs out of the way for a 1-1. We can see a couple bats out near the bullpen throwing around. There's one pitcher getting loose. Expect this to be the last inning possibly from Dane Burns, and a new arm to come in the 8th. We also see some bats thrown around and some swinging bats as that one finds the strike zone for strike 2.
Locating so much better this inning is Burns, whether it be the fastball or his off speed. Just looks a lot more comfortable after spending the bottom of the inning in the dugout.
Missed on the 1-2 to even it up. And it's not a bad ideology right now if you're the Keene SwampBats coaching staff to have guys up and swinging and ready to go. I mean, you got 5 hits through 6 innings, and you've really done nothing besides 2 home runs from the top of your order. 2-2, 2 away as Dane Burns trying to get 3 strikeouts to make it 3 up, 3 down. He delivers this one, breaking ball down low and got him. Doesn't love it, but 3 straight strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning, and maybe a little bit of momentum for Keene to build off of, because they got a tall hill to climb. They trail 7-2 as we stretch and go to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Alumni Field.
Good job, everyone. Every 7th inning stretch sponsored by Bulldog.
We stretch, and now it's the bottom of the 7th inning. A new arm on the mound for Sanford, trying to hold on and cling on to the 5-run 7-2 commanding lead they have here at Alumni Field. They turn over number 19, Aiden Colagrande, onto the bump, and another lefty to follow after TJ Curley 2 pitchers ago. But solid bullpen work so far from Sanford in this one.
Yeah, I mean, really all around. Castelluccio started, went 3 strong innings, did allow those 2 home runs, but other than that, he worked in and out of trouble and was very impressive in his first outing in quite some time. And then TJ Curley, the lefty, as you said, 2 innings, quick work there. Jackson Walsh ran into some trouble, but got the outs when he needed them last inning. And now you bring in Aiden Colagrande, who's making his 2nd appearance of the summer. Recorded the save at Vermont on opening day. Sanford's only win through their first 3 games. Went an inning, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks to make things interesting in that bottom of the 9th inning. But the Long Island native, big lefty at 6'3", 205 from Fairfield University.
It's going to be a big time for the top of the order for the 4th time to try to get going. It's going to be Jakonski. And J.D. Jones set to take his first couple rips of the game. Came in as a defensive substitution for Ripken Reese behind the plate, who was 1 for 3 and had one of the only 5 hits and one of the only 2 runs on a solo shot back when Jakonski and Reese at the moment went back-to-back in the 3rd. We do it again. We start out with Jakonski in the top of the order, 1, 2, 3. Set to be Jakonski, Jones, and Brett House. And a big moment right here for Jakonski. He's gotten on 3 times. He's 1 for 1 with a walk and a hit by pitch. And it's a pretty tough batter to face for the first time if you're Colagrande. The lefty-lefty matchup to start us off here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. 9 outs remain for the SwampBats on the offensive side. They need 5 runs to get back in this one, trying to chip away before it gets too little too late and ball 1's delivered upstairs. It's going to be a big-time comeback for Keene, who the offense has been quiet all year. They now have 15 hits. And we're almost done with the 3rd game. That's not a recipe for success. They're coming off a day last night where they had 3 and ultimately came up with a win somehow, some way. As a 3-0 count early to Jakonski.
Facing a tough pitching staff in Sanford's that came into the day with the 2nd best whip in the league at 1.08. They have been able to get base runners on and increase Sanford's season-long whip, but just not able to string anything together as Jakonski leads things off with a walk.
And could that be a little bit of fruition of Colagrande, a 4-pitch walk? Could he be wild, or could it just be that Joe Jakonski gets on base? Because my goodness, he's 1 for 1, 2 walks, a hit by pitch. His OBP coming into the day was 833, and I didn't think it could get better, but here we are.
Very impressive stuff from Joe Jakonski. Been on base all 4 times he's come to the plate.
Brings up J.D. Jones. His first look at a pitch is called for a strike. It reads at 81 miles an hour. Jones at Rutgers this year only played 4 games, or started in 4 games, had 24 ABs / 250, 333, and 458. Had 4 RBIs in those 4 games, the Miami transfer. He's got a 1-1 count to work with. He's 1 for 3 this season through 2 games. He fouls off the 1-1 to go 1-2. Obviously has that 1 hit being a single, but he also has 2 strikeouts to his season. Pretty good defensively as a catcher, trying to find his footing. He's obviously transferred away from Miami. Didn't get a lot of time this year for Rutgers in the Big Ten. Delays on the chop swing and froze him. Goes down in a beautiful strikeout in recovery for the 4-pitch walk.
Beautiful pitch, off speed, 72 miles per hour. Looked to be the curve from Colagrande, and it just buckled J.D. Jones. A good bounce back at bat after the leadoff walk, and now Colagrande can settle into that rhythm. It's a guy that knows how to strike batters out.
And it brings up Brett House to the plate, who has not had a fun night as he takes strike 1. House was really good in the opener in front of a sold-out crowd nearly in Keene. And since then has not been a good time. Yesterday was hitless with a couple of walks. Today is hitless and now in an 0-2. It's just been that monstrous home run we saw off the right-handed bat. That's his only hit on the season. Would be a great time for the second hit on the season as that upstairs fastball is left off at the eyes for a 1-2 count. Standing on deck, of course, the big 6'5" Alex Calarco, who's also 0 for 3, so the meat and potatoes in the lineup for Keene has been the quietest part as that one sharply up the middle. Fielded cleanly, underhand glove flip, 4, 6, and 3. It's a 3 up, 3 down, mixed in a walk, but we go to the 8th, and Sanford is all over this one. They lead 7-2, commanding fashion.
Drink, launch, hydrate. Win the moment.
We're very fortunate in Eisenberg to have graduate assistantships that help the student with the cost of the program.
Our graduate assistants have benefits, not only tuition and fee waivers, but very attractive stipend and health care.
McCormick and Eisenberg is one of the best bargains out there.
And we're back for the final 2 innings in the latter half of today's Saturday night matchup. It's been a beautiful day of baseball and a beautiful day weather-wise here in Keene, New Hampshire. And it's been a beautiful day for Sanford. Keene, on the other hand, has not been so friendly.
Yeah, I mean, you said it best. Sanford enjoying the trip down here to Keene, the shortest bus ride they've taken of their first 3. And, you know, just able to get the at-bats, get the hits when they needed it. That's been the problem their last 2 games. The game against Valley, which they stranded 16 on base. The game against Mystic when they stranded 11 on base. They weren't able to get that timely hit. And, I mean, they've stranded runners on, but the difference is they've gotten the hits before they strand those runners on. And that's how you have success. Of course you're going to strand runners on throughout the game. It's a 9-inning game. You're going to have games where you struggle with runners in scoring position. But Sanford completely, rejuvenated offense after the day off yesterday, and because of that, you can see a 7 spot in the run column for them.
And it brings up another lefty. It's Braxton Stewart. Did not see any action in 2024. The 6'4" lefty from Louisville shows Louisville over Miami, Wake Forest, South Carolina, East Carolina, and Florida State. So was heavily touted out of high school throughout the country. And now he makes his first appearance in a long time at the collegiate level. It's Braxton Stewart in the NECBL. In his first appearance, down by 5, just needing a hold, try to get something going after another lefty arm youngster, and Dane Burns did just that in his action of work.
It was a better second inning from Burns on the hill. And I'll see if can carry some of that momentum into Stewart's appearance.
88 in the dirt, left off from Mateo Hernandez, the 9-hole. 9-1-2, set to get going for the 5th time today as Sanford already cracked the double digits in hits. They're at 7 in runs, and they have been sensational at the plate as a big swing on a golf swing makes it a 1-1 on the foul off. This is a big spot, and for Mateo Hernandez, a pretty solid game. A ground out, obviously, in the 3rd, but had that big single in the 4th where he didn't look comfortable in the box until that rip that got through into right field. He's made some pretty big plays defensively as well, including a big one on a double hopper. He had the charge in nearly at the mound level, the infield grass. He's a big hack at that one, just got up on the hands, and it's a 1-2 count. So it's Hernandez, Maselli, and Bade due up 9-1-2 to face Braxton Stewart, who's going to step off and call J.D. Jones to the mound. They're going to talk something over before the 1-2 pitch is set to go to Hernandez. It's a quick one. Now Stewart set to deliver. It's a quick stretch. 1-2 delivers that one down low and got him to go after in the dirt. Gets a strikeout, now make it 4 in a row, stretching back to the 1-2-3 from Burns in the 7th.
4 in a row, 6 in the game now. Or 7, pardon me, in the game now. This Sanford lineup struck out a good amount of times this season. They kept it pretty limited in this game, but last couple of innings, this Keene pitching staff has looked different.
Strike 1 is delivered to Maselli, and kind of said it there. We said it amongst ourselves in last inning especially. It hasn't been the pitching staff that hasn't been great today. Been unlucky a few times, but you look at 7 runs through 7 innings, 7 1/3, so far, and you think not a great day on the mound, but the Keene pitching staff has been really solid today as a whole. It's been obviously the offense has been non-existent nearly, as that one on the bottom half just misses. Try to get pulled up by Jones, but evens up at a 1-1. So he's got 2 singles, and each time he's got on base, he's come around to score. So if he gets on here, the next part of the order with Devin Bade on deck could be up for some dangerous and due for some dangerous takes. Looking for the 5th strikeout in a row for young left-handed pitchers out of the Keene bullpen. Stewart gets the sign, now delivers the 2-2 pitch to Maselli. That one's down low, chopped, and what a play by Stewart. Going against his momentum, moving over to his right on the stretch, leaps over to the left, and gets it himself for a 1-3 putout.
Well, that's why PFPs exist, the pitching fielding practice paying off there. Nice play on the bump. It would have been a tough play had that gotten by the pitcher in Stewart, as it was weakly hit contact. Alcia would have had to charge and get it in time, and with Maselli's speed, I'm not sure that would have happened.
Who says pitchers aren't athletes after that one especially? What a play from Stewart, and now 2 away, it's Devin Bade. Takes strike 1. Bade's 1 for 4 at that monster home run back in the 3rd. That big 3rd inning is the biggest crooked number so far with the 3 spot put up by the Manners. Nasty down low. They don't even need to offer. He went 100% for an 0-2. Chased the 80-mile-an-hour breaking ball in the dirt. And right now, if you're Keene, just seeing these young arms that there's not a lot of film on, obviously, come out here, and with Burns pitching well, Stewart has looked pretty good. It's got to be nice to see that as they're going in the season. Obviously, this is the 3rd game. And to see those young arms give you options and availability, that won't do it. Doesn't even make it 54 feet as it bounces a hefty amount before the plate for a 1-2. Stewart now got to collect himself into that one. Barely made it to the dirt after the stride. 1-2, Stewart to Bade. He delivers. Bade deep left field, all the way back at the wall. It's a scraping home run. Make it 2 for Devin Bade and make it an 8-2 game.
342 feet, 88 miles per hour off the bat. Devin Bade got all he needed of that one playing here in Keene. Just over that left field fence.
And sometimes you just got to play the conditions you're dealt, and Sanford has done just that. They've gone under a lot of baseballs and a lot of pitches with their swings, but sometimes you don't really need a lot when you're playing Alumni Field. Just like that, add a run, and it's Toomey, a blooper down the line. It's fair. It'll at least be 2 bags as Keene on the front charge. He will keep Toomey there for a stand-up double, and back-to-back pitches are a 342-foot home run or left field wall, and a bloop doubled on the right field line. Talk about the difference.
And you talk about the difference. How about the difference for Jack Toomey? Started the day off 0 for 3, now has a pair of hits in his last 2 at-bats, and for Jack Toomey, it's got to feel good off the bat, get that one to stay fair. And now it brings up the guy who's 4 for 4 with the cycle.
It's C.J. Willis trying to extend the lead that currently stands at 6. So Sanford leads by as many outs that Keene has left on their offensive night, as that one's down low, a little bit too low near the ankles for ball number 1. Make it 12 hits now. On the night, they've more than doubled Keene's output.
Highest amount of hits they've had in a season, or in this season so far.
Eliminate game 1. 8 hits, 9 hits. That's pretty good. And then you got 12 here. The offense is waking up for the Mainers. And despite the 1-2 record, obviously it's a young season, but your offense going to wake up like this, man.
And for Sanford, it was never that they couldn't get the hits or get the walks, get the base runners. Just couldn't bring them around. And today's been a different story.
Good block from Jones behind the plate. Keep it in front.
Pardon me, outside of that first game, the first game that they won, they actually struggled the most on offense in terms of getting hits and getting runners on board. Since then, they've had no problem. Just about bringing them across. And tonight, this is the offensive outburst you've been hoping for. If you're Nick Lops, Tim Moreau, Jeff Hines.
Funny how baseball works sometimes. The 2-1 from Stewart. The last 2 pitches were low. That one's way upstairs, and it's a 3-1. And I think that homer might have rattled them a little bit. Since then, it's been a bloop doubled on the right field line. That was just poked away by Bade and hasn't been anywhere, or by Toomey, excuse me, hasn't been anywhere close to Willis in this at-bat. The 3-1 does find the zone in the bottom half, runs it full.
C.J. Willis, his double, home run, and single all came on the first pitch of at-bats. That triple was the 5th pitch of the at-bat. Here we're going to see a 6th. He's been attacking early, but he can attack at any point.
All right, he's got the cycle. Can he add on? Check this swing. Flip the bat back. Stewart thought he got him, but they're going to award him a base on balls. So he already had the cycle. Now he's got a base on balls. The only thing he's missing is a hit by pitch.
How about this for C.J. Willis? 0 for 5 last season with 2 strikeouts when facing the Keene SwampBats. So that's 5 plate appearances, 0 for 5. Tonight, 5 plate appearances, been on base in all 5. Has driven in 3 runs as well.
And then you can talk about just how this offense as a whole has just been dominant, and we're going to get a mound visit from John Nowak. I wonder if we're going to see another arm come in and it just is detrimental, the disparity that you've seen from Stewart. So good, so good from Hernandez and Maselli. A strikeout and a ground out back to him. And then since then, the homer, the double, the walk, it just hasn't been ideal.
It has not. You said it. He started off great, kind of carried that momentum from Burns. Strikeout, a ground out, but then Braxton Stewart has run into some trouble.
And that can be the youth showing. We talked about it with Burns when people got on, seemed to get a little rattled. The home run that in most collegiate ballparks wouldn't be a home run statistically, only went 342, but That's all you need at Alumni Field, and that's the tough part about pitching not only in the NECBL when you visit Keene, but being a SwampBats pitcher. You have to be careful because a routine pop-up could just leave.
You want to be a ground ball pitcher if you're here.
So now runners on first and second after 2 up, 2 down. The last 3 have homered, doubled, and walked. Brings up Nathan Barksdale. Watches the first pitch, double steal, throw to third, tag not in time. Excuse me, not a double steal. It'll just be going to third. Don't know if the memo was received from CJ Willis, but now we got runners on the corners.
I mean, this Sanford game is completely different from what you saw from this team a year ago. Again, I said it earlier in the game. They didn't have their first stolen base till game 8 or 9 on the road against Danbury. And now, I mean, today alone, I believe it's 4.
It's just been an unreal showing so far for Sanford, and this is exactly what you want if you're a Mainers fan. That one in the dirt, runner takes off from first. He'll get a freebie. Jones able to keep the runner at third, but so it wasn't a double steal, but the next pitch they ultimately get in the position a double steal would have put them in.
I guess I also should say the Mainers did end up having Cal Hewitt on their team, who led the league in stolen bases last year with 27, and that really propelled their running game. But here, they're doing it in a bunch of different ways. They've got the long ball, the small ball. It's all working for them.
When it's your night, it's your night. Check swing upstairs, left off. And a 3-0 count. You talked about Jack Toomey being 0 for 3, then getting a single and a double. Came around to score on the single. Now stands at third with his double. What about Barksdale? 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Can he get on base for the first time? Got a 3-0 count. Pretty likely. And it will be a 4-pitch walk in the dirt.
That makes it all 9 starters for Sanford in their lineup have now reached base.
Brings up Blake Schaff to the plate, who is also looking for his first hit of the night. He's walked twice. Struck out back in the 7th as part of that 1-2-3 to Dane Burns.
Sanford did strand the bases loaded the last time they had it back in the 5th. It was a single, a walk, and a hit by pitch that loaded them there.
First pitch at the letters, a little bit too high, left off. Ball number 1, that's 5 in a row out of the arm of Stewart. He settles in and tries to compose himself, finds the strike zone finally to make it a 1-1. Breaks up what would have been 6 straight balls. The bases are loaded, and it's already out of hand at 8-2 in the top of the 8th. It could be a lot worse off of the bat of Schaff. Watches that one down low, find the zone. This is a big, big, big pitch from Stewart. You do not want to just let this game be over. 6 runs and 2 innings of offense is still going to be a lot, but it could be a lot worse with one swing of the bat. Breaking ball got him. A big strikeout. The bases are loaded, and a solo shot home run from Devin Bade makes it number 2 on the night for the DH of the Mainers. It's 8-2 going to the bottom of the 8th, a 6-run lead. 6 outs remain for the Keene offense. 6 outs remain for the Swamp Bat offense, and they gotta wake up. Another new arm on the mound. This one a little more submarine than we've seen so far, and it's gonna be number 26, Chris Gallagher, the righty, to take the mound for the Mainers with a 6-run lead.
Yeah, Gallagher, well, he's going to a new school in the fall. That's going to be Purdue University, committed there this morning. And making his second appearance of the summer, went 2 innings, 2 strikeouts, did allow 3 walks in Vermont on opening night, but one of the key factors in that win. He pitched for Sanford last summer as well, went 2-0 with a 3.68 ERA in 12 appearances, struggled this past season at Wright State, but Nick Lops knows what he has in Chris Gallagher. Chris Gallagher knows what he has in Chris Gallagher. And he is one of the most fun pitchers to watch. Has a lot of swagger, a lot of energy out there with his submarine arm.
And you talk about struggling this year at Wright State. Last year, Sanford was really good in 22 innings at a 3.68 ERA with a 1.36 whip, 10-10 strikeout to walk ratio, only allowing 20 hits. Now he steps up with a big lead and a lot of room to work with as he delivers ball 1 to the cleanup spot. Alex Calarco hitting from the left side, the switch hitter. 0 for 3 on his night with 2 flyouts to center as well as a strikeout in his last plate appearance. He's up 2-0 early. If you're Keene, you're just looking for anything, maybe not to come back in this one, but to give yourself confidence going into tomorrow's game at Mystic. You just don't want to leave this game with only 2 runs and 5 hits and go tomorrow thinking we can't hit. It's a 3-0 count quickly to Calarco. Have to imagine an auto take it is. It's a 4-pitch walk to start off the bottom part of the 8th.
Not how you want to start your appearance if you're Gallagher here, but he's a pitcher that has worked in and out of trouble plenty of times. It just takes 1 ground ball, which he's good at getting, to erase that leadoff walk.
Now it's Bryce Molinar up to the plate. He's looking for his second hit, excuse me. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. Takes ball 1, so ball number 5. Gallagher delivers the first strike of his outing on pitch number 6 of it for a 1-1 count to Molinaro. Nick Romano stands on deck. Excuse me, looks like we're gonna get a pinch hitter actually. For Keene. It's going to be, trying to look at a number. Looks like 28, Jace Norton has grabbed the bat. Did not play at Mississippi State this year, but he's set to get going, and we got a 3-1 count to Bryce Molinaro. After a 4-pitch walk, we're on pitch number 5 of the AB between Chris Gallagher and Bryce Molinaro. And Molinaro sharply over to third, past the diving glove of Hernandez. Around second, very tight turn, and it will be a single. Calarco goes to second, and now it's back-to-back base runners. Molinaro's got 2 of the 6 hits on the day for the SwampBats.
It's the Penn State boys having themselves a night here against Sanford. Molinaro with 2 hits, reached a 3rd time on a walk. Talked about Jakonski, he's been on base all 4 of his plate appearances. But a nice piece of hitting just to pass the outstretched glove of Mateo Hernandez. Even if Hernandez has gotten there, it would have been a tough play at either base. Now if you're Chris Gallagher, got to come in here, trust the field behind you. Talked about it, strikeout, the walk ratio 10-10 last year in his career at Wright State, 74-43. He can strike out batters, but also isn't afraid to pitch to them.
Delivers ball 1 to the pinch hitter. That is Jace Norton, another Mississippi State going to his sophomore year, did not play in his freshman season. He's up 2-0, has not had to lift the bat up yet. Just another example of what we see from these SEC commits. I mean, Jace Norton stands at 6'3", 190, As a 19-year-old, and is up 3-0, has not even had to think about swinging yet. One more ball would make it 12 out of 13 pitches that have not found the zone, but he gets a big strike one to make it a 3-1 count. So pitch 15 of the inning coming up on the 3-1 to Jace Norton. Watches it for ball 4. And now 2 walks and a single, and the bases are juiced for Victor Izquierdo.
Yeah, this is smart by Ryan Colvin to go out and talk to Gallagher. Just settle him down a little bit. Now you got the force at any base. You just need a ground ball. Might get the runner at home. You'll probably trade a run for 2, leading by 6 runs right now. But we'll have to see exactly what Sanford wants to do. I do believe they are going to just go a double play depth, which makes the most sense here.
Yeah, if you're Izquierdo, there's 2 things you can't do here. You can't strike out. Well, I guess 3. You can't strike out, you can't pop up in the infield, and you cannot ground into the infield. You have to put a good barrel and a good AB together as strike 1 out of the visit is delivered. Looking for his first hit of the game. Down 0-2. That 86-mile-an-hour fastball was late on it. A little unlucky today. Got luck with the error on his first at-bat, and his second at-bat in the 4th had that ground ball that went off of the pitcher's mound and was retired on a 1-3 and goes down on 3 pitches swinging on the inside. There's one away and now sets up possibly a double play that could end the jam.
And that's Chris Gallagher right there. Got back to his stuff, a 3-pitch strikeout, got the swinging strike for strike 3, and just looked a lot more comfortable there after the mound visit from Colvin settled him down. Looked like he was working a bit faster, maybe thinking a little bit less, and there he was just able to pound the strike zone.
Don't know what was said from Ryan Colvin, but hey, it worked. Just 3 pitches and you get a big first out. Brings up Jake Keene, who rips it up the middle, glove down, 4 tags the bag, the lofted throw, and there it is. A walk, a single, a walk, the bases loaded, no outs, and Sean McKenna, the head coach at third base, is going back to the dugout, just shaking his head. When it's your night, and Sanford leads 8-2, going to the 9th inning of play here on ESPN+.
At M&T Bank, we believe in the power of together. Together, we can help your business grow. Together, we can move communities forward while giving back. Together, we can help your family spend more time on what matters most. And together, we can achieve more than ever before.
We're in the 9th inning now at Alumni Field. Going up on 3 hours of game action coming up soon, 2:50 and change. And we're finally in the last one. And Sanford looking for any insurance they can grab on to their already huge commanding 6-run lead.
And you heard it, we're right over the Sanford dugout here in the press box at Keene, and you heard someone, not sure who it was, saying, let's get some more insurance. I like more insurance. They've got a 6-run cushion, but never could be too comfortable.
It's the bottom part of the order, and the man who I think you can credit a lot of getting out of that bases loaded, no outs jam, the catcher, Ryan Colvin, who went out and talked to Chris Gallagher after 15 pitches. Two walks and a single.
It was certainly a difference maker. Gallagher looked a lot better after that mound visit by Colvin.
Have to think what was said is you touched base on it in the bottom of the 8th was just throw the baseball. Stop thinking about what you're doing, just pitch. Do what you've done your entire life. We're playing a game of catch in the backyard, and it worked perfectly as a big, big sorted swing right there on a 1-2. So So it was a walk, a single, and another walk that loaded the bases for Keene with no outs. Then it was a 3-pitch strikeout by Esguerdo and a 4-3 double play as that 1-2 was fought off and fouled away from Colvin. It's Colvin, Curtis, and Hernandez, 7, 8, 9 due up, and they can extend it. Would be the top of the order with Maselli for the 6th time tonight.
Be the 2nd time this season that Sanford has had their lineup turn over for a 6th time.
Big swing and a miss, got him down on the right knee. A nasty pitch from Stewart. Gets a strikeout, and there's one away. He starts out the 9th, how he started out the 8th.
And now he ended the 8th too. Swinging strikeouts, bookmarked the 8th inning, starts out the 9th.
So Keene only had 2 strikeouts of the pitching staff before the 6th inning. Excuse me. Since then, they have 7. Ball 1 is delivered at Jackson Curtis, the first baseman, who is 1 for 4 and is one of those 7 strikeout victims since the start of the 6th inning. 2-0 count as that one was not close. Stewart also working quickly, taken right out of Chris Gallagher's book. He falls down 3-0 in this one. And rolling your order over for the 6th time, now being the 2nd time they can do that here, I'd have to say that's a recipe for success all summer. 3-0 finds a zone to go 3-1, so we will not get a 4-pitch walk, at least a competitive pitch right there from Stewart. And now Braxton Stewart will eventually walk him on 5. So a 1-out base runner brings up the 9-hole spot, Mateo Hernandez, and rolls the order over for the 6th time, standing on deck with Matt Maselli.
5th walk there worked from the Mainers. A knack for finding free passes.
Stewart delivers the first pitch to Hernandez, checks his swing at that one, but called for strike 1 anyways. We talked about the 7 strikeouts since this turning of the 6th inning. 2 of them have been to Mateo Hernandez, who before then was 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Now into the dirt, he left off. Evens the count at 1-1.
Sanford came in today 17 walks, so averaging over 5 through their first 3 games. 5 here, just about on cue.
Stewart checks the runner at first, now delivers a 1-1 and blows the fastball right by for a 1-2. Looking for a big second out here. Would be his 4th strikeout if he can get this one on the 1-2 count. Stewart once again, the lefty, checks the runner over there at first. Looks over again, now delivers the 1-2. That one blown away in the dirt. Jones can't find it. Runner will take off a bit late. Jones picks up, throws a little bit off the bag to the right side of Romano, and it's going to go down now at second base with a 2-2 count.
That was a late jump from Jackson Curtis, but once he saw that J.D. Jones was struggling so much with it, took off, made a nice throw. Jackson Curtis able to slide in safely.
Now in scoring position, 2-2, 2 away with the runner on, or 2-2, 1 away, excuse me, with the runner on second. Fouls off the high heat, stays at a 2-2 count. Right now, if you're Stewart, the only thing you can be thinking of is getting out of this one. Got out of a nicely sized jam with a strikeout to Blake Schaff. And that walk obviously is killer to the momentum you built with a strikeout to end the 8th and a strikeout to start the 9th. Right now, Keene's just looking for any reason to feel good going to their Sunday afternoon matchup on the road at Mystic tomorrow. Stewart, big swing and a miss down low in the dirt. The throw over to first. Runner stays at second, so make it 4 strikeouts now for Braxton Stewart. Still a runner on second with 2 away.
That does bring up Maselli now for a 6th trip to the plate, 2 for 5 so far, a pair of singles. Can cash in with an RBI here. Curtis in scoring position.
We talked about that 2 for 5. Both times he's reached with those singles, he has eventually come around to score. Watches the first pitch go for a strike. if you're just joining us on ESPN Plus, you have missed a lot of offense from one side and a lot of not offense on the other, for lack of better words. Down low, left off and called for ball number 1. Maselli gets the count even at a 1-1. Sanford with 12 hits and 8 runs through 8 2/3 innings of their offense. They got 1 out remaining to get insurance. They already lead by 6 and have 7 standing on second base. Represented by Curtis, as that one's outside for a 3-1 count. And now we're gonna get a look here with Sean McKenna trotting out immediately after that pitch missed.
It's rare that you see a change during an at-bat, but I think that's what McKenna might be going for. There was an arm warming. Oh, nope. Pointing at Jackson Curtis, so I wonder if they're going to try to pick him off or something here. Just talking defensive alignment.
A lot of pointing in that one. A lot of pointing going on around that little mound with the infield, including J.D. Jones and Braxton Stewart from the bump as McKenna makes his way back. As we stay with a 2-1 count, 2 away. Runner on second, representing the 7th run of insurance, as Keene awaits their final 3 outs of their offensive night, where they need, at this moment, they need the same amount of runs as they have hits so far. So it'll be a long shot, but it would need one heck of a rally here at Alumni Field. 2-1 pitch out of the visit. Defense settles back in, and Stewart sets at the waist. Checks the runner over at second, who is represented as Jackson Curtis in the 7th run of insurance. That one down low, left off by Maselli, officially at a 3-1 count. Stewart now looks in at Jones. Just need a strike here. Do not want to go to the man who has 2 bombs on the night in Devin Bade. And you will. Walks him on that one, and we go to Devin Bade after 5-pitch walk to Maselli.
Sanford up to 6 walks now. Just been that type of season. I mean, just 4 games in, and just the at-bats, they consistently work. It's got to wear down pitchers, and now you wear down a pitcher and bring up a guy with 2 home runs.
Had a solo shot, home run back in the 8th was the only run given to Braxton Stewart so far, and that one's low. Good scoop by Jones. Keeps the runners at first and second. So not only is the order rolling around for the 6th time, but it's also the 2nd time that the order is now seeing Braxton Jones. As Sanford has set up themselves to get more insurance, they got their 9th run of the game, standing 180 feet away, and it won't happen here. That one's popped up weakly by Bade. Traveling on the right field line, calling off. Calarco hits 2 knees to make the grab. A little scary, but ultimately does it as it tails back in to shallow right. 1st and 2nd, they strand, but Sanford, they lead by 6. They'll take that cushion going to the bottom of the 9th. It has been a fun night for the Sanford fan base watching at home, and maybe some made the trip, who knows, but it has not been fun for the fans here at Alumni Field in Keene, New Hampshire. Their SwampBats trail the Mainers from Sanford 8-2 in the bottom of the ninth. 3 lives remain. They need 6 runs to force extras, and they have 6 hits on the night.
They're going to be doing it against trying to do it against a new pitcher in Connor Griffin out of Binghamton University. Appeared 11 times in his freshman campaign. In 14 innings, allowed 13 earned runs. Did have a strikeout to walk ratio of 14-5. A team that lost in the American East Tournament out of Clark Summit, Pennsylvania.
The big right-handed arm. It's the opportunity here, not a save opportunity, obviously with a commanding 6-run lead, but still a good opportunity to go in there with little to no stress. You got a 6-run cushion to work with. Just work on your stuff, find the zone, and you can pitch almost stress-free, and that's got to feel good as an arm. Trying to get momentum going for the summer, and Keene, at this point, it's going to be a hefty comeback. One of the most memorable, if they can do so, in recent SwampBat history. Down 6 in the bottom of the ninth, where they only have 6 hits all day up to this point. But you're just looking for something to feel good about before you get on the bus and make the trek to Mystic tomorrow.
As for Sanford, you'd love to take some momentum into Vermont tomorrow. Another North Division opponent. We've already beat them once, and I mean, with a win here, if this holds on, Sanford will have won 12 straight games against North Division opponents dating back to last season.
First pitch to second, and an easy put out for Schaff on Alisea. And just like that, 2 outs now remain on the Keene offensive night.
Alumni Field wasn't the friendliest to Sanford last season. They won on opening night. Came back here. They did win another game during the season here at Alumni, but it was a doubleheader sweep when Sanford couldn't afford it in the race for the top of the North Division. Sanford would end up falling just a game and a half short of Vermont last season. So it's good to be back here for them and have a scoreboard in their favor.
This at-bat already longer than the one to Alisea. It's a 2-0 count after Alex Alisea rounded out to second right away in his AB. It's the top of the order now for the 5th time today for Keene, which is odd to say for an offense that only has 6 hits through 8 innings. Down low, and it's a 3-0 count to Jakonski, who has been pretty good today in center field. Obviously solid defensively as always, manning the outfield and quarterbacking the outfield, as some would say. 1 for 1 with a homer, 2 walks, and a hit by pitch, along with a stolen bag. 1 run scored as well, as a 3-0 has found the zone for a strike from Connor Griffin.
Yeah, you talk about Jakonski out in center field. I mean, he played a little bit of outfield, especially towards the end of the season for Penn State, but was primarily serving as their starting first baseman, as he's now going to get to walk to first base, on base for now the 5th time here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, at some point it's got to get boring walking, but Jakonski's going to take his bag, and guess when you get on, you're getting on base at a very, very effective rate. That on-base percentage has just skyrocketed even more. Didn't even think that was semi-possible, but yet here we are. He now has 10. He has gotten on base 10 times this young season as the first pitch is fouled off from J.D. Jones, who struck out looking back in the 7th inning. Guess you can't start a rally if you don't get the leadoff man on, or if you don't get someone on right away. There's 1 away, so 2 outs remain, and the SwampBats backs against the wall more than they've already been. Their bullpen has done a pretty solid job since the 6th inning. Only 1 run allowed, just their offense. Just 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Both solo shot home runs by Jakonski and Ripken Reese, who is no longer in the game. One count as Griffin Sets and delivers the pitch. This one's fouled off weakly. It will stay in play, veering back towards the SwampBat dugout. It rode the line of the fence, dropped foul on playable territory. But Colbin could not get to it in time, and neither could Curtis from first base. Did not have enough loft and a broken bat, as J.D. Jones has to return and go grab another piece of lumber.
It's expensive foul ball.
Doesn't even lead to an out either. Honestly, looked like it might have if that ball had a little more loft, as Colbin had a big jump from behind the plate. And if that one wasn't as close to the fence, would have loved to see him slide on both shin pads to get to it. Love when catchers do that. One of my favorite plays as a former catcher myself, not at a high level, but a former catcher myself. One of my favorite plays to watch when catchers hit the deck in foul territory. But it's a 1-2 count from Connor Griffin as he delivers the fastball, put fouled on the third base line. Sean McKenna makes the play with the backhand.
He's getting a lot of work down there in the third base coaching box.
Sharing a word, laughing around with some fans. Going to go give a fan that foul ball. Well, I have to assume a fan, really out of our line of sight here at the press box at Alumni Field. Nonetheless, a 1-2 count again. This one bounces to the plate. Good job keeping it from Colbin. Jakonski really wasn't going to go anyways unless that one was blatantly an easy free bag, as he doesn't matter.
You saw on the mound where Connor Griffin gave some claps in the direction of Ryan Colbin for making that block. Pitch that just fell out too quick, and Colbin was able to spring up and block it.
Now Griffin sets at the chest with the 2-2 count. Jakonski, a standing up lead. It's fouled off by Jones, and we'll do it all over again. Standing on deck is Brett House in the middle of the order, set to get going. The middle of the order that has done absolutely nothing today for Keene. A combined 0 for 7 from House and Calarco with one walk, and Jones will go down swinging. Since coming to the game in the 7th, he struck out looking in the 7th and struck out swinging in the 9th. One out remains till Sanford gets a big, big win on the record books.
Evens their record at 200 or at 500 at 2-2. If they can hold on here, and always like to see 500 and then try to work from there.
The last life now with one on, down by 6, is represented by Brett House, who is 0 for 4 on the night. Takes ball one down low, had a big double play off the bat from the 4-6-3 on the glove flip back in the 7th inning. That beautiful defensive play by the middle infield duo of Schaff and Maselli that has been really solid all game. House takes a big daddy hack at that one. Count goes to 1-1. And you can hear this stadium. Obviously, they've been quiet for a while, but now especially just dead silent. As the Bats have had themselves a tough night here at Alumni Field. Connor Griffin trying to close out the game and put together a scoreless inning. Check, swing, tried at least, went through 100% of the way on a 1-2 now, as that one's in the dirt, gone after. And give credit to this Sanford bullpen. And absolutely unreal. One strike away from the Sanford Mariners, evening the record to 2-2. It won't happen there. That one's on the inside of the plate to Brett House.
You talk about the bullpen. Castelluccio went 3, and then Curley, Walsh, Colagrande, Gallagher, Griffin. Scoreless from the 4th inning on.
Check, swing, down, looking. Sanford walks away with the 8-2 win, dominating fashion. 12 hits, double Keene, and 8 runs, 4 times as much as the SwampBats. An 8-2 victory for the Mainers, and 5 bullpen arms combined for 6 scoreless innings.
Yeah, well, these were guys that had to pull the tarp last second yesterday and got it halfway on the field before the rain just became too much and got it stuck. And, I mean, at the same time, though, while they exerted some energy there, they didn't exert their pitch count or anything like that. You talk about the arms out of the pen, the arms in general. That's what the postponement yesterday gave. It gave you the ability to not have to push these guys too far. It was an inning at a time after Castelluccio and Curley, and Sanford able to get the win.
We're going to take a quick break. Bring it back shortly on ESPN Plus. We're back here at Alumni Field, 8-2, the final score in NECBL action. Keene drops their first game of the year, drops to 2-1, and the Sanford Mariners get a much-needed, dominating, to say the least, win to get their record to 2-2 on the season.
Even if, you know, coming here, they were in a good mood. They had lost 2 straight, but it was 2 straight that you could have won, that you had everything there for, just couldn't put it together when you needed. And tonight, that's what you did. You put everything together when needed, did Nick Lops and his team. And that's the most important thing is, again, talking to Nick Lops after the game the other day, it was, we have so many good at-bats, just couldn't get that one final hit or 2 final hits that could have led us to the victory in Valley. Same story could be in Mystic when the game tying and game-winning runs were on base. Tonight, it didn't matter from start to finish. You know, they went 1-2-3 in the first inning, and then after that, there was only one more clean inning for Keene pitching as Sanford just continuously kept going at bat, and obviously the pitching staff we already talked about.
The Mariners with a dominating 8-2 win here at Alumni Field. Keene drops to 2-1. The Mariners get back up to 500 at 2-2. I'm Sean Massa, joined by Justin Chavarella here on ESPN+. Thank you to everyone watching, to our crew, Stephen Pierce, Ryan Hearn, Milton Dauber, and thank you for making us, the Keene SwampBats, and the Sanford Mariners, a part of your beautiful Saturday evening here on ESPN+.